wait to attack. I feel like I lost it, I see through the gas. Obnoxious, I'm knocking, yeah, I'm taking your bag. I feel like I'm caustic, looting your buddy, your homie still choking on gas. I'm laughing, being the enemy, hoping they pick up your slack. Yeah, winning now feels like a thing of the past. Your props are gonna throw up the glass. We take what we want, we leave in the trash. Racking up facts as we move through the map. We're waiting for people to follow my trap. Cause we don't go to swamps, don't take what we want. Check it down, living some 50 day. What we owing, man, through the door, flat line, like you up. Always getting what we want, but it never is enough.
My methods are only controversial to those who lack imagination.
I feel like I'm caustic, I'm breathing on gas. They're on the smoke, patient we wait to attack. I feel like I lost it, I see through the gas. Obnoxious, I'm knocking, yeah, I'm taking your bag. I feel like I'm caustic, I'm breathing on gas. They're on the smoke, patient we wait to attack. I feel like I lost it, I see through the gas. Obnoxious, I'm knocking, yeah, I'm taking your bag. I'm throwing out cans, I'm betting you won't. Peacekeeper making you dance, you know I'm the GOAT. Champion squad, every time we go, this legend control. I'm climbing the top, no matter the toll. I climb to the top, no matter the toll. I'm throwing out cans, I'm betting you won't. Peacekeeper making you dance, you know I'm the GOAT. Champion squad, every time that we go, this legend control. I climb to the top, no matter the toll. Yeah, hey, I climb to the top. I climb to the top, no matter the toll. Take a look at the scoreboard. I thought that you would do more. I'm giving this my everything. I'm the best that you have ever seen. I'm starting. I'm going in. Where is my day? Nobody slays like I slay. Come on, girl. Nobody slays like I slay. This is my world. Nobody slays like I slay. Come on, girl. Nobody slays like I slay. This is my world. Nobody slays like I slay. This is my world. I'm starting. I'm going. Ooh, like the 301 hum, bats of bullets off your chest to the armor falling off. Oh god, all this gas making you cough. Feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you a bot. Watch you fade like a thought, skull town where I bang. Watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. 301 in my hands, different drop, same plan. To my squad, I'm the man, I'ma win this, no I can't. Sending shots, no spam, accurate, watch them slam, watch them run while they can, make them slump. Give me the loot, take what I want, all of my rounds, light like the sun, yeah I am the one, lighting you up. R301, you're all that I need, you're all that I want. We at the top, act like we scum, taking your life and leaving the crumbs. Do what we want, we get the dub, living that life, yeah, R301. I got the size, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standing mag, more shots, standard stock, ready pop. I got the sights, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standing mag, more shots, standard stock, ready pop. Ooh, like the 301 hum, bats of bullets off your chest to the armor falling off. Oh god, all this gas making you cough. Feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you a bot. Watch you fade like a thought, skull town where I bang. Watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. Ooh, like the 301 hum, bats of bullets off your chest to the armor falling off. Oh god, all this gas making you cough. Feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot.
Welcome everybody to Series E Apex Legends. It's week 6 pro night. My name is Yeso. I'll be your host tonight. Excited to be back once again with all of you. Of course, it's still the first week after the North American ALGS playoffs. We're still reeling from all those incredible games, but we did have an awesome night of competition last night in which Furia came out on top. The first non-partner team to win an open night so far this season, and Furia was consistent and dominant last night, getting late in games all throughout the night. Lots of kills on the board and well played from them. Meanwhile, we saw Nerf with another second place. Seems like they, so far, are cursed to finish no higher than second, but we'll see if maybe tonight they can break that curse. Of course, they've been stellar on pro nights so far the last couple of weeks, and we'll have to see if they can keep that rolling here tonight and maybe see if they can surmount that second place showing they've had the last couple of Wednesday nights. Of course, for those of you that are new, I can explain how Series E works, though you may not know how things go down. Okay, Series E is a professional esports open circuit that absolutely anyone can join across multiple different titles. We've got Apex Legends, we've got Guilty Gear Strive, and Halo Infinite. Now, the way things work is players and teams come compete in our open qualifiers. Okay, the best of the best from those open qualifiers qualify for Series E. That means players get drafted by our partnered brands, you sign a contract, you get paid a monthly salary, and you get to compete weekly for points and prize money. In Apex, of course, it's every Tuesday night against other open squads, just like these players used to be themselves. And then every Wednesday, like tonight, you play against some of the best pros from all across North America. So if you and your team want to get in on the fun, make sure to head over to matchareno.com/ESA for a shot at being a future Series E pro. And I do want to remind you folks, of course, we kick off our Halo qualifiers next Monday night. That's January 31st. That is the first of only 2 qualifier nights. So if you want to get in on the Halo Infinite Series E action, sign up today. Again, those are over at matchareno.com/ESA. Get over there as soon as you can before spots fill up. Now, of course, ton of storylines to follow, ton of teams to watch tonight. And if you want a little extra incentive to watch the games, of course, we are doing our weekly fantasy contest. The last couple of weeks, the same person, No Jaws, has won both weeks in a row, picking the same team, interestingly enough, the entire roster of G2. Taking Gent, Resulta, and Designful has won 2 weeks in a row. Now, if you want to get in on the fun, make sure to head over to us on Twitter at Esports Arena. Select your 3-player roster that you want to compete for you tonight in fantasy, and whoever gets the top points will win tonight. And of course, the top performers every single week get tallied up, and there will be an overall leaderboard at the end of the season. Of course, do want to remind you folks, the first person to respond with a specific roster does lock that roster. You cannot copy that roster after it has already been submitted. So again, make sure to get over to our Twitter at Esports Arena and get in on the fun. Now, we are ready to go. We've got all of our teams getting in the lobby and ready to set up. We've got a couple of incredible casters on the show tonight that I promise you will enjoy. So let's head over to them and kick off Series E Apex Legends.
Series E.
Series E.
Series E.
Series E. Series E.
Apex Legends.
Apex Legends.
Series E. Apex Legends starts right now.
And now we're seeing once again, just like Game 2, slow down, but Fury time and time again. And geez, if they think they're winning it, chances are they're winning it.
It gets thirsted by Zera Tricky as Hakio is going to come around the corner with the spray, and now it's just one player alive over here. And this was.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Series E. We're bringing you that Season 4 action, our 6th week here as we approach Pro Night. Of course, leading you through it, am Zephyr, and alongside me, the lovely queen herself, Parallax Stella.
What a nice intro. Oh my god, can I have everyone intro me like that, please? That's nice. You got extra points here.
I hope you're saying something super nice right now because
I take all of that back.
Of my headphones.
Chat, that's between you and me, okay? He'll never know. All right, chat, that is between you. That is between you and me, all right? That's our little secret. Anyways, yeah, so how you doing?
I'm doing swell, hopefully better. I'm going to let that one slide for now. This is my first impression of you, for Christ's sake. So hopefully it's a good one to whatever she just told you. But let's get this one rolling here. We've got plenty of Apex action in store and some great storylines to evolve. But first off, it's that format. Of course, same as always, if you've been watching, we follow standard ALGS 6 matches to play through. Of course, the points awarded 12, 9, 7, 5, that odd numbers that you all know and love, and the KP to assist them one apiece.
Yeah, and in this format, remember that placement is important, but also your kills, because you know what? Someone who places lower than you can still outrank you in kills. So make sure you're finishing those downs, people.
And we had plenty of opportunities to see that in some of the teams last night when we talk about Open Rejects being one of the notables to pick that up, as well as Furia, who finished first. But other teams now grace the presence here on Series E tonight are pros. And this is going to be the first time we're seeing a lot of these teams here interact, right? Coming right off the back end of the ALGS playoffs. So a big night.
Ooh, I see a lot of names that I recognize. So happy to see this roster tonight. Oh my goodness, we have 100 Thieves, Vizio, Intel. Ooh, I should have worn my Intel jersey. Why did the producers not tell me? I should have worn the jersey. I'll wear it next time. But I'm excited. This is a huge power lineup of teams. I'm so excited to see the action. This is one of my favorite things of Esports Arena is that they never fail to bring the action. So I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, we're going to be taking a look, of course, at teams like TSM coming off of their big win here this last weekend. So obviously, I mean, that's the point there. I think, though, I'm going to start setting up some of the misnomers that do present themselves here on Series E. And the big one that I want to make sure that everyone will be taking care of is going to be Team Nerf. These guys, for the past, what was 2 weeks straight, have placed second here in our Pro Night. And it has been a dominant fashion. They haven't quite picked up the first place finish over G2, I believe, but it could potentially be their night. They're coming off hot on the trails of Open, a second place victory there as well.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how everyone places up today. Here's the thing, though. Like, everyone on these teams are heavy hitters. So we don't know how it's going to go. We're going to see match one, and then, match one's lineup is just going to set the mood for the rest of the night, because then everyone else is going to be like, well, you know what? We need to step it up. So I'm excited. G2 especially. G2 has been on top of their game, especially with ALGS. I'm very excited to see how everyone does here today. And we have TSM as well, of course. Everyone's NA favorites, right?
I'm excited to see it. I mean, when it comes to Series E, I feel like it was one of the kind of negative places that fed into this narrative that evolved prior towards the ALGS playoffs, where people were saying,
Really?
oh, TSM's washed, they're not going to be doing well. But they showed up when it counted, okay? When the points actually mattered, that's when we saw this team perform here. And I'm hoping, I really am, to see them come out as just explosive as what we saw on the weekend and not throw that one. G2 for the last 2 weeks has been our first place leaders here in Series E. And while, trust me, I'd love to see another G2 win, there's some other happy homes for these teams here.
Yeah, again, we'll just have to see how things go. I mean, I'm excited for match one because that is really going to set the tone, because once people see placements, you really start to feel that competitive edge come out. I mean, listen, it's Gonna be game one. We're gonna explode into it. I'm so excited. I keep saying I'm excited. I'm so sorry, but I am. I mean, we've got
Hey,
some
that's
really
good.
big teams here. Yeah, I gotta be honestly. I'm rooting for Renegades and Noble. I got people in there that I root for, so gotta root for them. Rakanishi, you better show up. I swear to God.
I technically work for Renegades, so I should always be a big fan of them. So
Oh, okay.
if I'm
Okay.
not, they'll probably kick my butt behind the scenes. Trust me, I'm always a big fan of Renegades. It's a little bit of a shame that they were the team that actually fell in the face of TSM there in their win. So a bit of a sore spot coming off of the playoffs, but hopefully tonight looks a little bit better for them. But let's move maybe away from some of the teams here. Another big question that I really have for the extent of what could happen tonight is what is learned from the playoffs, right? We saw a huge difference when it comes to what NA is capable of versus EMEA and then APAC North in their own right, especially when we look at compositions.
Yeah, compositions is a really interesting thing to look at. I remember when I was casting for a Lenovo Masters, the South America region really liked their crypto, and they really liked the basic, like the what is it, season one sort of loadout, right? Wraith, Gibraltar, crypto or Bloodhound. It was they had like the solid, and it worked, right? Like no gimmicks, just pure gameplay, pure knowledge. That's what they wanted, and they went in and they fought early. So NA is probably the slower moving of all of the regions in terms of like matches. You go into like final circle and there are 15 squads left. You're just like, this is chaos. EMEA is a little bit faster, which I really enjoy, and they're a little bit more aggressive, which is always so fun to watch. But it's a lot to keep up with. There are a lot of fights that happen immediately. So I don't know, but Series E, I mean, who knows? Maybe people will be working off of the energy they had for ALGS and just want to go ham. I hope so.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the counterpoint here personally. I would say that I really feel like NA is one of the more aggressive ends in terms of the regions right now. They're still coming back, relying heavily on that Gibraltar being 100% presence here out of the playoffs. So definitely giving them that realm to 50-50, go for the fast rotations that come through, especially in some of those final moments there. And akin to what you were bringing up with Lenovo, it was actually EMEA that kind of replicates that crypto. And I think that slows down the pace, but it gives them a lot of the opportunity to take advantage of knowledge prior to what is a more, impactful legend that obviously we've all seen here recently, the Valkyrie, of course, coming into play constantly with that redeploy. So I'm interested to see whether we see some teams kind of move into that kind of crypto knowledge place, or if they continue to go just as aggressive as we've seen out of the North American region. And if you want to get really spicy, APC or APAC North, they're apparently going with the full Watson crypto compositions right now. Trust me, I can't make hide nor hair of what any of that means, but it seems to be working for them.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. That definitely goes back to like season 2 or 3 with Watson plays. I mean, listen, I love Watson. I love Watson. I want her to be more viable, especially in high competitive play. But I mean, you can't be without that scan knowledge, whether it's crypto or Bloodhound or even Seer now. But I mean, Bloodhound is instant. Crypto allows you to scan, especially for circle placements, which plays a lot into NA because you want to get into circle because you will get circle guarded hard. And I think a lot of people forget that circle knowledge is important because you want to establish where you're going to be. That zone is going to be yours. Yeah, so a lot of people forget.
Yeah,
crypto can give you that information.
Yeah, absolutely. We had the opportunity, me and Vicky here yesterday on Open, and it definitely was one of the bigger points. Obviously, Beacon, it gives you that wealth of information to carry forward into a further or second round. And when Valkyrie, of course, is such a high presence, the fact that you have the opportunity to have those God spots, the prediction way before anyone else kind of gives at least the early game kind of an idea of what we may be seeing out of some of these squads, especially if they have the Beacon in their presence there. But,
right,
I feel like that's at this point, maybe a little bit of a given. You either got it or you don't.
I think these teams got it. I believe in this roster tonight.
Well, hey, you know what? I'm happy to have you here. Maybe start moving away from a little of the Apex discussion. It's my first time getting the opportunity to sit down with you, and hopefully we can make it through this experience together, maybe elevate some of the knowledge and pull this one back around. I think it's going to be a learning experience for all of us here, and I think the big one I want to look at more than anything is the fact that there isn't this pressure on these teams anymore to be scrim ready, prepped to go for the playoffs. So they have the opportunity to get a little bit more lenient and look for some play here. So game one, especially to start setting up that narrative, I wonder if we're going to see a bit of a change. We already talked about compositions and what that may be having, but some of the play styles of how we usually see teams like TSM, like G2, how they approach the game as a whole, because no longer do they have the looming threat, the presence of what is going to be your standing all the way up for the championship right in front of you at that moment.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we do see any legend switch offs. I mean, Gibraltar is just so important, though. Whether you're in a scrim or you're playing pubs, like Gibraltar has established himself as one of the strongest characters that you can pull out in team play right now. So I feel like we won't really see a switch off of that, because if you're going up against the team that has a Gibraltar and you don't, you're kind of at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm curious. I mean, if we see a Watson or Fuse, I would be absolutely excited. Fuse has my heart. I'm a Fuse
you know
fan.
what? Hey, it's if you love Fuse, you must have loved last night there from Fury, as they were the ones throwing that one in the mix from Zera every single round, and they made it look absolutely dominant. But now we reapproach World's Edge one time here. Game one on the board for Series E's Pro Night.
So excited to see where people are going to be landing here. Of course, TSM picks their favored fragment. Sometimes the loot here is hit or miss, honestly, for me. But I'm glad it works out for them every time.
Okay. They make short work of getting through that area, high and quick rotations to play as center zone as possible. So we'll start discussing that one. It's a bit of an oddity. We don't usually see the starts regarding looking towards that skyhook area. Right now, though, Xset looking to follow up here. This is a 50-50 that we actually had the opportunity to see fairly early on last week, and Klein taking the brunt of that one.
Yeah, I love seeing early fights, because you know that both teams are going to be low on resources. I mean, maybe one of them gets lucky with bigger shields, but this one they look pretty even. So I really like to see these, because then you have early KP, you can play for placements, and then you can be a little bit comfortable till late game, which is really nice.
So this is, okay, to give some context here, when we casted this Pro Night with T-Squared here, I believe 2 weeks ago, this contest between CLG and Xset was a big discussion all night long, right? And we had Xset sitting on that caustic that time around and kind of holding out the center here of the Harvester area. And T-Squared, hopefully, as some of you may have seen, was very vocal and very against what was that kind of play. And they were taking a whole lot of time to try to set up something onto CLG, and they never really were able to come out on top of that one. So already, right off the bat, they pulled away from the caustic. They're no longer utilizing it here, so they give them that double kind of Wraith, Bloodhound, Gibby. That's about as aggressive as it can get in terms of composition. Even still, though, not quite seeing the pace of rotation come out from them yet. Got to be a little careful. Last time around, the fact that they took as long as they did came back to punish them. A team came up from behind and pinched them.
Yeah, that's always something you need to be careful about, especially in early fights as well, because Harvester isn't exactly a far-off location from other teams and rotation points. You really need to be careful about how long you're spending just trying to take this fight. Either you need to back off, and I know that they're not doing well on loot. Like, they have enough to fight, but they either need to push this fight or back off, because it's going to get messy pretty fast.
CLG, they move back in there. They're going to try and see if they can cut through, break into this door, and start laying this one out onto Xset here, trying to put down those angles. The dome going to prevent them from getting the damage out there that they want just yet, so they bide their time.
Oh my goodness, they need to push this. They've made the initial effort to push, and here we go.
There you go.
Fatro trying to get any shots off, but he does get his arm shield broken off already, so they're not looking too great, but everyone's on equal damage right now.
Yeah, Ordnance thrown back there, Nano low. That's going to pressure them away from a successful take on this fight as they're going to slide out down there towards the west here of that Harvester kind of leg. And I don't know if they're going to reapproach this one. I personally would like to see them just kind of leave it here. You've got a ring that's pulling super far north here. I know the first one you're still within play, but you have to worry about a lot of those teams that are going to be coming up from the south when we look at squads like Renegades right outside of Tree where they usually land here. And those who do have the knowledge regarding second zone, they know it's going to go even further north into Skyhook here.
Yeah, and they did, so CLG did get the knowledge that Exit has at least one purple shield, so they know that they are going to be outshielded if they do try to push this. Looks like Team Excedrin is taking a look at this over here. They're just taking a look, saying hi, trying to see if they can get an opportunity. So yeah, another thing that people forget is that you can always charge your shields at the crafters, which is what they were probably waiting for to happen after this fight. CLG did try to push back in and take this fight, but it's not going to work out for them. They just need to go and get out.
And it's an equal trade here. Klain for Nano in response, and it's Start a Fight who has finally moved into the region. This is what I was talking about. You take all the time in the world, and of course, someone's going to show up. As a result, Start a Fight, they're the ones to actually pick off what was a full 3-man from CLG there. And now it's not just them cruising on the other end, picking up Klain. You've got 2 separate squads now within the area. It's Excedrin coming up from what is their usual start, I believe, outside of staging.
Oh man, it looks like Excedrin is doing okay. They're not super healthy, and there are multiple teams in this area. They need to be careful about this. But yeah, Start a Fight picked a great fight. According to their name, it's perfect. They're staying on brand.
Staying on brand there. And now, Excedrin, they look to keep this one going forward. Clean up Kenny there as the rest of the X-Set rosters trying to escape back out towards the siphon areas. They continue to pick up this crucial KP. Kimchi Lee, he's the one leading the fray here on this Gibby, just hunting this last rat down. Unable to find a bit of the beam with the Volt, but woo! X-Set, only about 20 health left on the board here for our Tomcat rat.
Oof. Oh, and there goes Freestyle, the last of X-Set gone. And G2 here, not looking so good. It's a 2v... Ooh, what is that? A 2v1, yeah, but ooh, they're getting taken off. Taken out one by one. See, this is why you want to fight together. Ow, looks like Madness is kind of struggling here and does get taken out. G2 coming out on top in that scuffle, and they're going to be able to fully recover, it seems.
Designful came out there when it was necessary, pulled off the clutch. A bit of a shame to see the presence there of Ghost go out as early as 19th, but hey, what can you say? G2, they come out of Thermal now, happy and healthy. They've got some of those crates to potentially work with, maybe loot themselves up there after that initial fight, but they've got a ways to go. The zone won't be pressuring them anytime soon, but I mean, you know what? I'll hold my tongue. When it comes to G2, they're the current leaders here in Series E. You know, they're the best of the best.
Yeah, of course, you wouldn't want to do anything to Caster's curse them, right? Of course not. Absolutely not. No.
Perfectly fine right now. They're playing a little bit of edge, but they've got all the time in the world to rotate where they want to be. Speaking of wanting to be somewhere, we finally look at the squads that are within that Skyhook area. Knights, this is a typical drop for them. They're always here in the north, and no surprise, they're taking up host in one of these buildings. And we did get the opportunity to see that they've got a crypto. They are going to be running with some of that additional knowledge, maybe taking some influence here from this recent weekend in the playoffs. So here's to see how that one will work out for themselves. They're already in that second circle. The extent of that information will only get them so far.
Yeah, and in this sort of a rotation, you really need to be careful about Countdown because it is a massive choke point. It's so open. You only have a few points of cover, so you really need to be careful. And 100 Thieves has the right idea, just kind of holding down the point on Godspot up there. But they need to be careful not to get pressured off, and TSM is trying to make their way out of the train yard here. Just trying to get out of this tunnel, which can also be a little bit tricky, but they do have a jump. They do have a jump tower here, so yeah, they have options.
Yeah, they can find their way out through the jump if they want to launch with how they have that opportunity. Granted, they're fairly close to the entrance here of Circle 2, so all I have to do is click one over way. We did just see Knights pick up what was that initial knock on how, of course, fairly quickly picked back up due to the fact that they were separated by such a wide margin of distance. But it goes kind of to show what you were talking about. They aren't exactly completely in the clear there when it comes to the full rotation in, but the fact that they have several opportunities to do so definitely gives me the confidence that we'll see TSM living quite a bit longer here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like Team ESA is doing just fine. And C9 over here, what a stacked squad going through the remains of Trainyard. And they do come across with a care package, but someone took the weapon. So we might see a fight here because TSM was existing in this area.
They might have just rotated out, though, as we took our camera off them for just that split second, as this quite literally was exactly where they were at. So could have potentially took that jump tower there. Sadly, no information on that belt. But Zach Mazer, I'm going to highlight it, on that horizon. Curious to see how that verticality will come into play and how some of these team fights might work out there. It's not something that we typically see. In Liquid, another squad that's already starting to mix things up here. Fun FPS working with that fuse. And hey, if Furia pulled it off last night, I'm sure they can do the same.
Oh, and Liquid looking pretty good. They're going to be annoying with that charge rifle, just trying to get any sort of damage they can to level up their shields. And you know what? They're looking pretty good. I mean, Fun just needs one more tier up, and he can take these fights. It is Circle 2. We do have 18 squads left, so it's looking pretty normal for NA squads here. Complexity seems to be inside Skyhook already, and there's a lot of teams existing in this zone, so it seems a lot of these teams have knowledge of where the last circle is going to be, and they're just preparing for this.
Right, it probably is going to be carrying much further north here, directly into some of these buildings that host themselves here, and it gives a very lengthy end to games that do find their way this far north, because so many teams have the opportunity to hold themselves up for an extended period of time, all the way from zones 1 to even as far as 5, depending on where it closes here. Liquid, this was a squad I wanted to touch on, maybe go a little bit more advanced into talking about, was the fact that they are as far west as they are right now, right? They don't exactly have the most clear path in terms of safety, and if they continue to take as long as they are, you've got squads like G2 just looking to come up right behind them here.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with G2. Designful alone is just amazing with aim, and this team, I mean, there are 3 teams trying to hold each other out here, and while they're still safe within the circle, this is going to get messy pretty quickly because there's only 2 buildings that you can really take cover in, so this is going to get messy pretty quickly. But Gent just laying down the beams with the R301, and his teammates are looking very healthy. They're going to be able to push this and potentially get a full team knock here.
That zone going to pressure them out. Granted, it's 2, but it doesn't quite matter for them. The Ordnance down there. One last hit on that Caustic as Designful picks up the first knock here against Team Liquid.
Ooh, no. Yeah, their mistake. Oh my god, Liquid right there messed up. They decided to take that fight and leave someone behind, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get that res and not be punished for it, because G2 is looking to keep them out.
I believe they pick him back up there, but with the zone in its current state, they aren't forced to make any hasty moves. Surprisingly, the corner of that building still within play. Granted, this is not a good spot for Team Liquid. Let's not sugarcoat it here. They're pinched between 2 squads, and G2, yes, they pull back, but hopefully that's what they need.
Okay.
Big redeploy. Where they land, we'll have to wait and see. TSM giving us a little bit of a sight line there. Is someone drones in the area.
And yes, chat, that is right. You do see that Energy Suite is with TSM today. I did see chat pick up on that. So you know that you are in for a full treat when watching TSM fight today. So we're going to keep an eye on them as well. But it seems like everyone is just living within the final zone here. Round 3 is going to be closing soon. And we're just going to see a lot of teams setting up camp, making sure that other teams know, hey, this spot's occupied, get away from me. And we might see some teams fight for position, but I mean, there's still a lot of area here.
Oh, yeah. There's as long as Countdown is still within play, right, you're going to see a majority of this lobby, of course, stay alive here. So we're going to have to wait and see until once that zone pulls at least further north, which is what looks to be the expectation regarding where these teams, of course, currently situate themselves. So for squads like Excedrin, who potentially have to be making their way up north here, there's a lot ahead of them. that they will have to face off against. Granted, Cruisin, of course, being on that Valkyrie does give them the opportunity to fly into where they want, but the longer you go, especially coming into rounds 4 and 5, the more dangerous that redeploy becomes. There's not going to be many spots left up for you to take here. Esports Arena, though, they do find themselves into a bit of a valley, but a quick fuse and response will put Skittlecakes 4 places. Knock might be down. Ooh.
Yeah, you cannot underestimate that fire. It will do so much damage. It absolutely ruins your movement. You have to be so careful about it. And it looks like they are going to make a full recovery here. There are so many teams looking at each other that I think they might actually be safe. There are just too many eyes. They might be okay for now, but that is not a good position to be in.
With Duplex already down.
Yeah.
So at this point there, sitting with, I believe, that one member Knock, 100 Thieves, the rest G2. They've got lovely sight lines from afar, all with the sniper longbow charge rifles as they continue to pepper this one. G2, Designful, he's going to be the one to once again knock down Duplex from their position all the way out there to the west. So plenty of teams taking advantage of what I called out there, that late rotation from ESA.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that some of these teams don't have to move, but of course they are going to try and pick shots off these teams that do have to move and reposition because, I mean, let's face it, this is why it's important to have a scan legend so you know where you're supposed to go early on so you can establish that building or that zone as your boundary. So you really can't count that out, especially in a lobby full of this many talented players. And it looks like CLG going absolutely nutty here, takes out an entire team, and they have this building for themselves, and now they have all this loot. They're going to be able to recover pretty quickly.
Well, I gotta say hats off to CLG. They weren't able to take the fight early against XSET, but they come out on top of Renegades here, and like you said, now have complete control of this building. Granted, several levels, and this is what we will see as this one continues forward. You can already spot it there. You've already got a squad right underneath them holding out the other end of this one, and that's what you'll get, right? A bit of a tiered kind of cake situation for a lot of these squads as some of those buildings no longer become a priority and you have to all fight for what's left.
Yep.
You'll get 2 or 3 entities all within the same place. Noble, this is a big move for them, but they will fall as they can't find their way into that building. They're already 2 members down. Razor, they'll be the ones to defend against that initial push. They still have the one ratting out, but not for long there.
Yeah, it looks like Razor is actually in the middle of this entire circle currently. Vizio not doing super great. They are also looking for a place to live, but again, this entire region is just absolutely packed full of 16 teams still left. But it looks like they did get inside fine. CLG, though, not doing so well inside their building. Mamba is down, so now it's going to be a 2v3. They do have the caustic gas canister still up, but I mean, they're not going to be able to hold without that camp legend anymore.
No. That's it for Caustic. Man, fell there. A bit of a shame. I'm curious. We didn't get the real opportunity to see how that one came through. I wonder if they tried to go forward with a heavy, aggressive portal. But for now, it's Intel versus CLG. We reapproach this fight. And it's 3 quick shots there from Petty Boss to secure the drop onto enemy. They're going to pull back here. They won't be able to find the revive on their teammate as they're pressured now from 2 squads pinching them here. Petty Boss trying to hot parkour his way out of this one, but Vizio will quickly clean up the remnants.
That can get messy so quickly because so many teams are now trying to push into this tiny circle. 14 squads. I mean, they left out, they got out at 15. That's not too bad. Oh, another team is coming in to challenge Vizio, but the alternator comes out, knocking their enemy, and they're going to be able to get that finish there. But they need to quickly recover because there are going to be more teams that push in. So it looks like they are doing okay for now, but they're going to get pushed again.
Ooh, start a fight. I like this spot for them. High ground position in the face of this circle here. Some of the angles you can see from the west will be punishing them, but look at this. How they flee like ants upon the ground here. Start a fight, going to take advantage of all the damage that they have as they're watching 2 squads fight ahead of them. We'll see what KP they can pick up as that defensive bombardment comes down.
Yeah, Start a Fight has been doing a great job at knowing when to peek for fights, when to peek for damage, and I'm just thoroughly impressed at their positioning and their timing. So they do have the high ground, but they do have to move off at some point, but they do have really good viewpoints of all the teams that are living in this area and underneath them as well, actually.
You see there, Crummy trying to find a bit of that angle, see if he can wipe the rest of this teamer. But you make a great point, the fact that, yes, start a fight will have to move from this high ground position. And the thing is, all the squads that currently hoist themselves within this building will be doing themselves the same here. And once they're all kind of scurried right in front of where they're at currently, that's when you'll usually see the punishment come towards this kind of late rotation. But start a fight. They make big moves on this drop here. This was the team they were trying to find that angle off of it. I believe it's going to be the Splash roster there. Successfully, Matt Pickett combined with Crummy, they picked that one.
Goodness, what a beautiful fight. TSM fighting for their lives inside this one building with the Peacekeeper shot, but does get taken out by the Knights here. And but the Knights are down one man. Asura is gone. So it's just going to be a 2v3 against all the rest of the teams left.
Jesus.
We're down to the top 7.
It is a death box party in there. You can't even make your way up the stairs if you're Joey there, just having to hop his way over what was, I believe, the lives of 3 or 4 separate squads there.
Trying to get out.
Just try to get out of there. I mean,
oh my goodness.
Before the zone closes in, they're looking fine, but not really any great source of cover there. They're going to play with these other squads, fight once another before they actually have to make their moves away from defense. Vizio, the full roster, still alive and completely out in the open here. That dome keeping Boney and Scissors just ahead here for now.
Yeah, and Fury had a great idea of staying just on the outskirts of the circle where no one can really look at him while fighting, but he does get EMP'd. So his shields aren't looking super great, but he does have the alternator, which could do massive damage for them in the end. They just need extra TP and placement here. They're so close. Top 3 squads left. It is going to be a 1v3 against the rest of the teams, and Vizio does get taken out.
Now here, C9 versus G2. Some of the biggest names here in our pro night here, and G2, the current defending champions, going into game 1 here. They have the high ground advantages. Now, C9, they take to the skies, utilizing that Horizon Tower as try to see if they can find an angle there. As Resulta's already down. Designful going around the back here to find some level of response, but stay naughty with the Volt to put this one out. It really will be going down here, but as it is a 2v1, they look to see as Designful slides forward here. Stay naughty on the high ground will fall as Zach Mazer now brings us to our 1v1. He hides behind his teammate's shield, and even still though, C9 defend, pick up the win.
Oh my goodness, what a beautiful, beautiful final play. This is why I keep telling teammates, hey, just because you're down doesn't mean you're out. Like, put up your shield, make sure I have cover, and look, that's what good teamwork is.
Hey, C9, they come out on top here. They usurp the throne that G2 has shown for these last 2 weeks here. And I'll tell you what, there's still 5 games, but hey, that's a good pace to put yourself in the hot spot in either first or second, especially when we start talking about prize pool. But for us here, of course, on desk, we don't know exactly where all these teams are falling across the board, especially with as chaotic as a zone that was there in Skyhook. So we're going to leave that math up to those behind the scenes as we ourselves go on to a break. So stick around and stay tuned for some of the best of the best.
Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on applying the scheme. The true sound trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. Get the bars to the breaks. I'm talking one chance, the episode goes for the code. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Game 1 in the books there, and G2, of course, coming off of back-to-back Pro Night victories, looking really solid in Game 1, but it is C9 who comes out on top. They grab the victory there at the end, winning that 3v3 fight with G2, and looking really strong to start things off, so well done there from C9. Let's check out our first player of the game here for tonight's competition, and it's going to go to our friend Zach Mazer. 3 kills and 2 assists, bringing out the Horizon as well, which is not super common in today's meta, honestly. About 8 months ago or so, Horizon was fairly common, but we really have not seen any of her throughout most of the fall of 2021. Didn't really see it at Champs, but coming out here for Zach and looking really good on it. 900 damage as well, so not a big damage game, but being very efficient with that damage, grabbing those 3 kills and 2 assists. So C9 with a strong start to the day here, grabbing that victory. And the question is C9 or can really anybody unseat G2 from the throne that they have held over the last couple of weeks? They've been really strong to start off 2022 and looking to see if they can maybe repeat it again. I certainly enjoy watching that G2 squad. They're a lot of fun to see play, and we'll see if they can rebound and maybe grab the win next time around. We are going to go to a quick break right now, but when we come back, Zephyr and Stella will take the first look at our Mobile One leaderboard, and we'll get ready for Game 2. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're already right with you here on the action once again. Series E, Season 4. We're going to move right on forward here to our Mobile One leaderboard, see how far G2 C9, how that one finalized out, and if maybe C9 takes the cake.
Ooh! Would you look at that? This is what I'm saying. KP is important because look, G2 is technically in second place, but they matched C9 in first. So now they're tied with 18 points. And right behind them is Vizio at 15 and Team Razor with 9 points and SAF at 9 as well. These are looking pretty good. These are really good numbers for game number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Not exactly the biggest of margins in terms of the gap. No one has hit that kind of double 20 just yet here. A lot of the wealth spread, of course, between C9, G2, and Vizio. And for good reason. They played a lot of that circle very well in each of their different ways. G2 and C9 holding up there for quite a long period of time up there towards that northwest. But Vizio fighting through the muck of things. We got the opportunity to see them go from building to building, and then of course their last run up the hill before they fell.
Yeah, let's take a look here at everyone else. Renegades is in 19th place, unfortunately, but it's okay. It's game 1. I mean, they could totally make it back up. I mean, listen.
What are you doing to me?
What? I am being positive. I'm being a positive force. What do you mean? And TSM is in 8th. So listen, I think, look, game number 1, it was weird, right? Skyhook, we don't like those circles. We don't like Skyhook. It's okay. But yeah, no, that last fight absolutely shows just what these teams are capable of and who you're going up against. So I'm sure we'll get a look at the highlights here too. So
yeah. All right, let's take a look there at that high performance moment here from Mobile One and see what one of those extreme moments to behold here from these squads. And we take a look at Intel. This is this big fight from under. Petty Boss with the 4 shots to take down Fearless there to defend against this squad. As I'll tell you what, I'm pretty sure we saw 2 more teams come into the fray here in just a second.
Yeah, look, one of these, it's these moments where like you try your best, but I mean, here, Listen, Intel did their best to fight till the very end, try to secure extra KP, but sometimes it just doesn't work out because in Skyhook, there's so many different buildings where so many teams can live, especially in a pro lobby like this. So you know that you're going to end up taking several fights like we see here, and Vizio with the alternator just absolutely shredding Vatro here from CLG.
All right, so Intel, CLG, and a bit of a pressurized situation there. Neither were looking too healthy, didn't quite have full members, and Vizio, of course, they had the advantage. So they took it, ran with it, picked up the KP, and then once that position, of course, was in their favor, they were able to extend that into a nice, happy third place finish for them, which they racked up a lot of points for themselves. It wasn't just the placement. They were picking up more than this fight alone here, as we may get the opportunity to look back on that one. But either way, plenty of games, like you said, for all these teams to change it up. It's weird. It's Skyhook. It's a little different. Why don't we get something to the south? I know teams love that.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't end on Dome, I'm okay. Dome gets a little dicey with all the lava, but you know what? It makes for some really exciting final game plays. So we'll just have to see. I mean, I'm excited. So we know that TSM is going to be landing in Fragment. Where is your favorite place to land, actually? I'm curious.
Okay. Personally, when it comes to my landing spot, I do... Geez. I'm going to replicate my boys Renegades here and say I like Tree. Granted, you get to play hard edge, but with the fact that most zones pull out here towards the south, like we get the opportunity to see with round one, it usually is fairly good in terms of rotations. CLG this time around, not looking too hot. They were able to survive in game one off of their drop-in Harvester, and this time Xset, they get revenge.
Yeah, Mamba is out and Xset has 1 KP under their belt. I mean, not bad for a start, but you definitely want some more. And it looks like Intel is also running into a squad directly. Just a P2020 on Petty Boss. That could be a little bit rough in 26 rounds. I don't know about this one. This might be a tough battle here.
No, but
Fearless actually putting down the Mastiff shots.
Hey, the Mastic does some great work there, especially as you run it forward. And all right, I understand. Hey, it's a P2020. You're not going to get much use out of it anyways. You might as well go for the full thirst. And by full thirst, I mean try to break the death box as much as you want. Either way, Excedra now down.
This is pro night. This is pro night. We have standards.
This I don't see this in open. You're right. This is pro night.
It looks like Xset. They are hungry. Are they going to finish CLG here? Is that who they're chasing after?
I would love to assume that this is CLG. We know
it is.
So they actually went
They are hard chasing.
A big rotation. Last time we saw them, they were all the way down towards the south of Harvester. Obviously, they wanted to try to recover the banner there from Mamba, but we know Xset, they're not quite the quickest of teams. They stuck around, and you know what? When you know you have the numbers advantage and you can capitalize on a team like CLG who doesn't have that opportunity, yeah, why not? As a result, Mamba officially out of the game. Nano and Vatra, they're going to be a two-man roster for the last bits of this one.
Yeah, and they are still being hard chased because they know that it's a 3v2 and that CLG doesn't really have that much... They don't have that many resources. So I don't know how far they're going to chase. I would be surprised if they actually follow them into Fragment. But, I mean, who knows? I definitely have chased for less.
No. This is pro night. We have standards here, Caroline.
Okay. Right, okay.
Either
Absolutely.
way. I think, I don't think they're going for that full of a thirst there. Xset's happy with their current position. Remember, the zone's going to be pulling out here hard west in the south, in a perfect position for where Vizio currently sets themselves. I love this build. This is one of my favorite spots to be when we talk about zones closing within this kind of staging region. You have the opportunity to play both angles, either the village or that point of interest being within staging there. So right now, it's not too crucial, sitting at the first close here. But once it tightens up, and especially as it pulls out there and you have to make that decision where you're going out towards Geyser or staging, it's the only spot that gives you the opportunity to rotate into either one flexibly.
And it looks like Knights are overwatching Fragment. Now, we don't know where CLG went exactly, but we know that they were in this area, and I think they did spot them, but they weren't fully committing because Knights don't have that knowledge that it it's not a full team. 100 Thieves seems to be doing pretty well at Countdown here, but they might be getting into a fight here. Yeah, as they take a few bullets. This is an interesting fight. It looks like Countdown has not been looted, so it's going to be two teams wanting to fight for this, fight for the resources here.
Well, they've got some time, but 100 Thieves,
This is weird.
they don't want the fight, which I'm happy to say that's a great decision, right? You need to find your way into the southern zone, and you can rotate as far west here through down kind of those no-name areas and find your way into that geyser kind of region. It's not exactly the most cover to work with, but it's better than kind of going for that 50-50, especially if you're not 100% comfortable. Granted, you know, double blue purple, they definitely looked happy. Nerf, they themselves definitely picking up some great loot here in the vault. This is a squad that has consistently placed second in our pro nights here, second last night in the open for the first time in a long time. So I have high hopes for them. Problem though, they're currently sitting in the bottom 20.
Hey, it was only game number 1. I mean, listen,
true.
if they've been consistently second place, that is good. Consistency is key, and you can only improve from there. So, hey, that's a good thing. We'll hold out hope for Nerf. Yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on them. I mean, we see that they have good loot. They gave the gold helmet to Gibby with it, which is a great idea. Can recharge his shield very quickly. Looks like Ghost is trying to take God Spot here and potentially hold this location. This could be a little bit precarious, though, because you do see that we have the knowledge and that they do also have the knowledge that the zone is going to pull a little bit further up. So this God Spot might not be the best position for them in the long run, but for now, it'll be fine.
Like we always, kind of discuss here among some of the other casters, it's great for picking off the damage, charging up Evo, and just putting some pressure down there across the board. But when it comes to KP and keeping things moving forward, it's not that great. And like you said, the zone's kind of closing up right up against them, and so they don't really have a lot of time there to begin with. Intel, though, making short time of this squad against them here. Double dome down. Fearless looking for the angle, and perfect lineup here. I mean, he's just going to wipe full. Doesn't even look like they have the ability to respond.
And TSM was taken out. Oh my goodness, they did not have time to react. But they are, Intel also does not have time to react. They are fighting another team immediately, getting third party, but they're looking pretty healthy. They might be able to take this fight. I mean, they do have a caustic. They're able to hold down the interior, so they're going to be able to recover quickly and prepare for this. I mean, they're doing great.
Yeah, I will confirm there that the fight that we did just see was between Intel and Razor. So Razor are the ones to fall there. We've got TSM and their own strife somewhere else on the world's edge right now. Definitely doesn't spell out too well for them, as Intel, as we reapproach the top, they're looking okay. Doesn't look like the third party actually came through as quick as anyone had hoped, and they get the full perps back up. And while, yes, they do have to make their way into zone here, they want to delete someone like Bursty first.
Okay, yeah, I just realized that I was reading the kill feed during that fight, and TSM was eliminated somewhere else. But it looks, yeah, Bursty is going to be able to get away. I mean, Solar Wraith, it's doable, but you're kind of in a hot zone here. I mean, that is not a very good position to be in. And Skittlecase, ooh, picking out Joey from Knights. They're going to be able to get this Thirst here, and they're doing pretty okay. They're holding down Harvester here.
You know what? And it's a nice sense of revenge, right? You had Knights capitalize on that late rotation in game 1 from Esports Arena. Now they get the opportunity to go for the full Thirst in response there in the midst of Harvester. And while we don't see the rest of the Knight squad, of course, being that one member down, definitely doesn't look too good. I believe they might just be the one rat if we have to kind of interpret the death boxes and the fact that there's still 18 squads on the board. For now, though, they're dancing.
Yeah, I mean, all of these squads are comfortable. It's still Circle 2. Everyone's doing pretty okay here. Oh, pulling out the bow check. Blight using the bow check and Volt. An interesting combination.
Legolas on the field here. He'll see what snipes can be found, what orcs may fall here in response. Sitting down on the back end of Harvester, not quite playing into the hill. They are directly in staging, of course, holding the building, this major point of interest for themselves. And it can be very, very good if the circle kind of pulls into the village out there towards the west. Then you have to make a big rotation up against the verticality that you go there. For now, though, it's one of the best places to be. Granted, they don't have a remarkable setup for kind of bunker down defense, but still, most squads won't be able to play into them fairly clean.
Yeah, this is a location you can hold for a bit, especially if you do have a bunker like Caustic. But yeah, I mean, they can be there for a little bit. Again, it's only Circle 2 and it closes in 50 seconds. Intel, though, taking a little bit of damage over on this hill here. They do want to move in. They know they don't want to stay out here, but I mean, the options are going to be limited in terms of rotations.
This cart, we saw Team Liquid pull off a win for themselves the last time around in Pro League directly from that position there. And while, yes, they can play for the high ground, this was just about to say, they have the opportunity to rotate out here towards the west into this little kind of valley. It's not quite the drop just yet. It's this little kind of crate field. And while it isn't the best position to be in, especially as you see squads take up the higher ground right next to them, it definitely is a lot better than trying to take that kind of 50-50 out there towards the side if you aren't exactly the most confident. Nerf, they're the ones who have the sight lines from above here on that ops end, that village we've been discussing all game long. And while they can't quite put the wingman shots down, they have the position for later.
Yeah, you're still putting down pressure. You're letting teams know that that location is occupied, which means that they're going to have to push around. And like I said, there aren't a lot of options for rotations unless you have a Valkyrie. But even then, you're exposing your location. And Xset looks like they are actively in a chase right now, but they are outside of circle.
Round 2, it does tick. Not enough to put them out, though, you know. They will try to see if they can claim the rest of whomever currently tries to escape here. Might be the last remnants of either CLG or Knights. Haven't been doing a great job in terms of keeping track if they're still alive, but hey, Xset, they realize it's no fair game anymore. They're going to be making their way back in towards the game that actually does matter. Here at Esports Arena, though, they're going to fight for the spot that we saw Splash hold onto for so long. A quick destruction being that double devotion there on Skittle Kicks, as well as the full wipe onto Phoenix's now ESA. They've got their own god spot. Oh!
Ooh, look at that nasty wingman shot from Nokyun. What the? That was disgusting. Oh my god. Yeah, they are holding down this location. I mean, ESA just knows what they want and they're taking it, but they do have to be careful. They do have to be careful because, I mean, they have a Caustic. Like, this location is good for Bunker Legends. Like, they can stay in here. They're good. They don't need to push out. I mean, they have purple shields. They'll be fine. Just let them come to you.
Right. Like I said, though, you know, very early on, if the zone does tend to pull away from that central building, you'll have to fight up against what you just saw there, that verticality. But start a fight now, coming in fairly late, trying to pull away a spot, and they have no control of this situation. No. Such a risky foul call now to be punished. Crummy pulling back here up against the wall, and we take a look at Liquid sightline. They're just taking massive shots. Picks that one off as Crummy bracelets away, able to time that one out on the teleport.
Oh my goodness, beautiful shots there. Just really taking advantage of this entire situation where they are above everyone else, have all these sightlines. They're just going to be racking up KP here. KP that they didn't even technically have to really engage in for, which is great. I mean, listen, we take those. We like free things, right?
Hey, absolutely. 100 Thieves, they're the other ones who pick up the majority of that fight there, and they're happy to pick up any KP for themselves. Haven't quite been doing the best across the board here, so it works. Liquid, though, bit of a spread for themselves. Haven't had the opportunity to talk about this line here. Vizio currently sits above them when we talk about that original building. This is a little bit more heavily favored towards the point of interest that is staging, but still very, very good. You can see they have a nice line of sight on squads like 100 Thieves and ESA, the ones who currently hold position right in that building there. So they're forced to move out. Guess what? Team Liquid, Nocturnal, he'll line up that triple take. He'll take the shot.
Yeah, the triple take is great too because it's fast firing. Ooh, look at that. Just connects even with quick scopes here, but they do need to be careful because the this train part up here isn't exactly the best for cover. They do have a caustic, so they can line up the barrels, but I mean, it's a lot of open space.
Right.
So they're just going to be looking down and making sure that no one else will take their high ground. But there's the lower team that they were looking for.
Complexity. This is the squad we saw defend this cart fairly early on here. They've been able to keep a tight grasp of it for a long period of time, and not just that, they also have the construction cart as well. So a full control of this high ground here, the kind of entrance into the area. They're being the gatekeepers still to round 3 here. As you can see, they pressure any squad that's trying to come out of landslide right now.
Ooh, yeah, these shots are going to connect, but it's not quite enough to keep them from moving in. I mean, everyone wants to be inside the circle, so they're just going to do the rest. Shiny does have his ultimate and shield ready if they do need to fully engage in this, but it looks like they're just taking poking battles here.
Remember, a few weeks ago, we had one of our highest kill presence games at Series E through Reptar, of all people, on this Complexity squad. I believe it was picking up a plus 20 kill game or something of the like. It was insane. Maybe it was 17. Either way, all you need to know, it's something we hadn't seen before here. Ghost, though, they look to take away one of these high ground positions on the train line, and they make short work of whomever was there in responses. It's now there to their own.
Yeah, they did take out Bumbling Otter, but they are getting held out by a team above. And C9 just cleaning house here, and that was Complexity that was taken out. So Complexity actually was taken out there. They were usurped from their position. Ooh, but Zach just absolutely nailing those flatline shots. And Intel not looking so great. It's now a 1v3 and a 1v2. Oh my god, it's a 1v1! Stay Naughty, can he finish this for his team here?
Gonna go for a little bit of the timing there. Not for the full revive, but potentially to draw him in. Naughty able to pull off that shield swap, get the perp back up. His guild is only second away. This is a separate squad in the area. That's not even Intel. Knights, they hear the shots and they come clean this one up. So what started off as a very successful fight, C9 taking that one away, coming off of the landslide. The god spot from Complexity. Couldn't quite defend against not just the third party, but what was also the fourth here.
I'm so excited to see Fury on Kraber. If you remember from championships in ALGS, like, I mean, Fury and his team you did not want to go up against them with a Kraber. So hoping to see some really good shots connect here. They're mostly zoning to make sure that no one else will move into this location because they do have a very good position. Yeah, they're on top. They can see all the other teams. They just need to hold this position. But they are going to be pushed from different directions if they're not careful. So we're just gonna have to keep an eye on the circle close. 10 squads left, and it's round 4 closing.
They'd have to be careful, right? They still hold one of the best high ground positions here, but as that ring might be pushing them off here fairly soon, you can see they'll be forced to rotate down here towards the traps. And I like this because teams that take their time up there usually don't fare too well once they are finally forced to drop. G2 being one of them, haven't quite gone for the drop just yet. They have a nice high hold there, but it's not exactly in the best of cover. As a result, they have to throw that dome down. Fury now looking to line up that Kraber.
Listen, Kraber's making me so excited. Ooh, Esports Arena, it's a 2... Ooh. No, they cleaned that up. They're doing all right. All right, Esports Arena is doing right. Yeah, they're doing great. But there is another team. Ooh, that caustic. Yeah, that caustic nade is going to hurt them a little bit. Case might be able to finish this. I mean,
you have a lot of faith here in the one last standing member. Yes, Esports Arena will be wiped there. Couldn't quite defend, of course, against the third as Renegades picked that one up. They were able to rotate out from the low ground that they had held onto for so long. And Vizio, they're going to give it all away. They want this position directly into staging here, so they go for the full drop. Missiles found in response there from the Valk. Fury, got to take a second. Doesn't quite have the shield set up or available. Gonna look in, see if you can find that angle to start this one off. Remember, Renegades, I don't believe they're a full 3-man.
Ooh, Vizio gets taken out too, or at least Scissors gets taken out. So Fury not looking so good either. Now it's a 1v3, and Phony is kind of on his own here. He can't really rescue anyone else. And all eyes are going to be on him. But if he does actually stay down here, he might be okay. I mean, teams are mostly going to be focused on the location above, but I don't know. This is risky because you still want to get up there for the final fight.
I'm a little disappointed. Vizio, they made such an aggressive move there. They wanted to go for the full send, but once they finally kind of got up there towards the building, they just stopped in their tracks, and very quickly, Renegades picked up the KP and didn't quite go for the full wipe there on the Vizio squad, but they won't be finding a victory here. One member left standing. G2, they finally dropped from their high ground position that we saw them hold on to for so long. They don't have quite the best cover to play around. As a result, they're going to take some time, go for the full bat. I'd be more than happy to see them drop off here, at least try to find this 3v3.
Yeah, and you can see that Gent's ammo here isn't looking too great. Heart and Rampage only at 39 heavy bullets left. It is not going to be good for them. And Result does get taken out here. I don't know if they're going to be able to get the res. Designful also not looking too great. And looks like Gent is just going to have to play for solo placement here.
Designful's still up, but not for long there, as we do see that one finally taken out. It's a split from Nerf on the low ground. They've been holding this one underneath the bridge for the entirety of this game. One of the few full 3-man squads going in here to potentially our final close in a second. And yes, you can see right there, you got that final member, G2, just standing alive. And the majority of the rest of these squads, 100 Thieves, Team Liquid, they're all fighting right above Nerf. They don't have to make any kind of moves yet.
Yeah, and it looks like Nerf is trying to nade this other team off, and they might be able to, but here's the thing. It is, they're trying to secure as much KP as possible, but they do need to be careful because the ring is going to be closing, and it's going to be 6 squads fighting each other in the final ring.
Here's the problem. I'm curious to see where these squads drop. Do they go for the full low ground right into the midst of Nerf here? Thankfully, you're going to have, hopefully, the circle kind of close off their backside, but they got to defend against drops like that, and they do a great job of it. Turns there with that 301, just beaming this one out. Another squad right ahead of them here in the crack, and they continue to pump damage. It's Vizio. They were able to pull back up a little bit of their roster. Now Nerf punished for taking their time. No shield to their name. This dome will give them some time to rejuvenate themselves.
Yeah, Liquid still doing all right on top. They just have front row seats to everyone fighting right now. They're able to get shots, but they are going to have to drop down eventually. But I mean, they can still stay on top. And all these teams down below are struggling a little bit. Diddy not being able to really connect with any fatal shots with the wingman here. But I mean, everyone's just poking until the last sort of final closes.
Team Liquid here, they actually have the full high ground. Renegades, they gave that position up to take the fight here directly into what was supposed to be Nerf. They're now on opposite sides. Team Liquid, I'm curious if they're going to be taking the fight here to Nerf first. If they fall, it could potentially be Renegades swooping in from behind there, but they got to be careful. That zone is going to clip a chunk of damage out of them.
Yeah, I think Liquid is doing the right play here. They're playing patiently, staying on top as much as possible, making sure that they push the other team off, and they're going to drop last second here. Oh, and the Drop Ultra Dome comes out. Fun FPS just laying down as many Peacekeeper shots as possible, and Liquid takes second game. Amazing. Absolutely incredible. That was kind of easy for them, huh?
Yeah, I was about to say, a fairly clean win for Liquid there. We saw them hold on to the position on the train line, which could have been contested by a lot of teams, but most of them fell in the midst of their battles against someone else. We saw Vizio take it up against Renegades, 100 Thieves in their own plays against G2. Team Liquid, they just kind of managed to survive through it all. And you know what? It came out to benefit them in those final moments. They never were really pressured to do anything. They went from the train line down, and what was supposed to be the fight against Renegades was suddenly not there. Renegades, they dropped as well, and now Team Liquid was the only one on the high ground, and they just kept rolling that luck forward.
Yeah, they played really well. I mean, their positioning was extremely important. Another thing that people forget, positioning is everything in Apex as well, especially going into final fights like this. Knowing when to drop, knowing when to save your ultimates, and of course, here's your Ultra Bubbles. It's going to be huge. So, yes, beautiful plays by Team Liquid. So happy to see them take first in game 2.
Oh, hey, and you know what? Positioning in terms of first place, that's not the only thing that matters. We still got that Mobile One leaderboard, and we'll see where Team Liquid now thrust themselves onto there, whether they take away some of those heavy positions that are being held from the likes of G2 and C9, or are still fighting for a chance at victory. That'll be decided behind the scenes as we here on the desk are going to take a break.
Refreshingly sweet, but without sugar, 0 calorie treat. They're all our top favorite smash.
It's fruit freshen.
Game number 2 goes to Team Liquid. Team Nerf trying to put up some good points. Of course, as I mentioned at the top of the show, trying to break that little second place curse that they've been stuck in over the last couple of weeks. And while they can't beat Liquid in the final circle, they still put up some good points in that game. So well done to them. But of course, congratulations to Liquid for grabbing the win. And let's look at our next player of the game here for tonight. Of course, we started off talking about C9 led by Zach Mazer. They're looking really strong. They had a good showing on Sunday in the ALGS playoffs. And Liquid here looking to rebound as well. Nocturnal going to take player of the game this time around. 5 kills and over 1,800 damage. No assists here, but still Liquid showing up strong and having a great performance there in Noct on that Valkyrie. Showing up really well here for Team Liquid. Team Liquid feels like when we've had a lot of the conversations over the last month or two about the top teams, it feels like Liquid has been fairly consistently left out of that conversation. Of course, a lot of name value, really, really incredible talents on this team, but it seems like as of late, at the very least, they haven't been popping off in the biggest and most important tournaments. But this is a team that can show up and show out really strong when they are on their game. So we'll have to see if Liquid can keep things rolling as the night continues. We're going to go to another break, but do want to remind you guys, of course, before we go to that break, that we here at Esports Arena are open all across the country in Walmart stores in the United States. We've got an awesome activation we're excited about this weekend that I will tell you more about later, but we want to see you folks come out, hang out with us. If you want to come play some games, maybe it's Apex, Halo, or another new title you're looking to get into, come out to Esports Arena and game with us. If you're looking for a location near you, just use !locations in Twitch chat right now. We are going to go to that break. When we come back, the final game of the first half.
Versus coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. Put the bars in the breaks. I'm talking one chance to have a soul. Go for the goal. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Series E. We're about to work our way into Game 3 here of our Pro Night. But before that, let's take a look at that Mobile One leaderboard. See how the big names like Team Liquid and Nerf fare after that great game.
Ooh, okay, cool. Yeah, they made an absolute leap. I mean, look, they're sitting in 4th with 20 points, tied with Team Vizio at 20 as well. And in 2nd place, we have G2 with 24 points and C9 in 1st with 25. This is a very close leaderboard right now. I mean, and Team Nerf at 5th with 19 points. I don't know.
Not too far away. We're talking about as little as 6 here between our top 5, and C9, G2, Vizio, they weren't able to extend that game very far. As a result, they didn't really stack too many points on top of themselves coming out of our game 2, and that's why you see the margin exist as close as it does currently.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this only game 2, but still, I mean, we're going to be going into game 3, which means it's halftime. And I mean, these scores are going to stand for themselves pretty soon. So Liquid being able to move up into 4th place was pretty big. So let's hope that they can continue their performance. And yeah, we'll have to take a look.
Well, speaking of big performances here, let's see who comes out on top. Our high performance moment here in Mobile One. And it's way back early on, this initial Intel fight here.
Ooh, yes, I remember this. This was chaotic,
Watch
but
Fearless.
Intel did a great job here.
Oh, I mean, I have no clue what the response was here, because watch Fearless sweep in with the Peacekeeper right from behind in and out of that dome. And it feels like they're lagging in response here as the Intel squad just wipes Razor out early.
Yeah, beautiful shield bubble dance right there. I mean, it is so important to make sure that you're bobbing and weaving and not just, I'm going to sit in the bubble. I'm safe. No one can touch me. No, you got to bob and weave. And that was a perfect dance. I mean, you saw how coordinated that team was. When one would step in, the other one would step out. It was beautiful. Chef's kiss. Perfect.
And Razor, well, you know what? They just looked frozen in their tracks. Either way, they still kind of present themselves on the board, and we're not quite at the halfway point yet. So 4 games left for them to hopefully put some points back where they want them. For now, though, back to World's Edge. Let's see how these teams will fare.
Yeah, so how do you feel about World's Edge? I know a lot of people
are we starting
this? Yeah, we're absolutely having this discussion. What do you mean?
I would very much like to see another map reintroduced or pulled here into some of the official tournaments. I have much love for World's Edge. I think it's a great balance, but I'm a little sick of it, for Christ's sake almighty. And you know what? I think Storm Point, it has some issues regarding especially the verticality, the big one being that drop ship. I think it's a little too low. I'd love to see that one potentially raised to give some teams the opportunity to kind of get to their points of interest. But other than that, I think it could be a very nice competitive addition. Granted, it is a fairly new map. Teams definitely need some time to scrim, but teams, they've got time to scrim right now. It is World's Edge, and CLG versus XSET. This is a scrim as old as time here. XSET this time around getting a bit of a redundancy from game 1, already starting to fall.
Yeah, and CLG is chasing. I mean, they might be able to get... Not quite able to connect this here, but I mean, they are pushing. They want this. They're being as aggressive as possible, and they do get that finish there. And XSET is out. CLG just...
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. Mental flashbang here on the series tonight.
Yeah, I was just going to say CLG is asserting their dominance, and I didn't realize how bad the timing was going to be, but I mean, there you go.
Are they not? I mean...
They are, absolutely.
Well, I think this is the best performance we have seen in terms of a Harvester start from either of these squads here. CLG pick up the 50-50 immediately, right? Now they get the full loot to themselves, and they can find their way out fairly quickly to the zone, which once again will be making its way down towards the south, playing directly here into Thermal Station, the G2 home ground.
Oh man, CLG now just has all of this loot, all the crafting for themselves, and they can post up for a little bit as well. I mean, look at them. They're just doing great. They're vibing.
Straight vibes here, and you know, they've got some time. They'll take the opportunity to craft, set themselves up for the long run here as we start taking a look at some of these other teams. Vizio coming out of where they typically drop, just north of here, out towards that kind of staging area. They're going to set themselves up towards the eastern end of station. This is what I was about to point out. You can see G2 already. They go as far west as possible into some of those buildings there, and you do have the circle when it plays into thermal station tend to drift all the way down there and either split in between the fissure out towards where G2 is currently situated or into Renegades, those double buildings that are right there where that beacon is currently at.
Yeah, and I mean, in ALGS, we've definitely seen rats or teams get very creative with where they hide out, especially among all the the little mountainous regions and cracks and crevices around thermal station. So, interesting though. It looks like G2 does have thermal station for themselves so far. So we'll see how good they are on loot. Because I mean, here's the thing: even if you do stay in a position, get into circle early, you might be suffering on resources. So hopefully they're doing well. Looks like Excedrin did get scanned by another team here, so they are just making sure that they're going to be okay moving out.
You see that
leading the charge here. Yep, they are actively trying to take this fight. Ooh, 30-30 hitting pretty well for Kimchi right now.
Could be hitting a little bit better though. Try to see if they can find some of those cracks. I personally like the 30-30 a lot. I'd love to see more players take advantage of it there, but Excedrin unable to really find what they want. And to chase into that position isn't the very best, especially now that you see they've got a bit of a split in terms of attention. Another squad right behind them. Vizio here, though. We saw them just a moment ago far out towards the east. They're going to be launching directly into the heat of battle here. It looks like G2, they might be in a skirmish of their own already.
Yeah, Vizio looking to third this as they are actively in the fight. Ooh, and does knock two G2 members. I mean, this might be okay for Vizio, but they are doing pretty poorly on shields. Phony's already cracked here, but they are pushing together, and they may actually end up being able to take these, take this third pretty quickly here. I don't know how far they're going to chase, though, knowing that they are actively in a fight with another squad here. I mean, they know that there were two, so they can't relax here.
No, they can't go for the full chase here. They got to finish this one off first. I believe this is Gent hiding out there, and that, I believe, is going to be the last member there of G2, as now Vizio thrust themselves up into a heavy kill lead, and most notably taking out some of the biggest names coming out of games 1 and 2, both Team Nerf and G2 respectively. I believe one of them is still currently alive. We saw that rat go for the complete escape. As we take a look at Excedrin, they're putting the dominance down here all the way back out towards Geyser. It looks like they were able to successfully push themselves back towards that team that they had that kind of split attention on fairly early there.
Yeah, and that was Petty Boss from Intel that was taken out, or more accurately, crushed. By Gibraltar's butt. So, yeah, Excedrin doing okay. I mean, they have KP, they have that box there. Oh no, Nerf. Turns, no.
Turns our Tomcat rat of game 3 here. This was that last member that we were just talking about, and he pulls into a fairly risky position once some of these squads are coming down from the north. I don't know how long this rat will last as the cats come out to play. Either way, it does give us the confirmation, though, that officially G2 is completely out of this one, but Nerf potentially has the opportunity to swing this back around. It still is round 1 close. It's not the exactly easiest area to escape out of, but who knows? I hold faith and some hope.
No way.
If Intel can do it.
Mooney actually got Petty Boss's a card there. That's impressive. But Liquid is going to scan him very quickly. Oh my god, I'm so dizzy from that spinning. But I mean, listen, they got that rotation out. Okay. Yeah, they got that rotation out at the perfect time. They're going to move ahead of the squads here because we know that this is a pretty heavy choke point, especially with the varying levels of elevation here. But it looks like they are going to try to go as far as possible. And we already know that squads are living in thermal, so or in lava. So this is going to be interesting. I mean, the teams that can move in as fast as possible, they're going to be at their best here.
I'm interested to see where Liquid wants to play this one out from. They head fairly far east, almost back into that kind of Harvester region. They might be rotating all the way out through kind of that valley into Tree and then back around to where we see teams like Start a Fight and Renegades currently out. And that's definitely something that can play towards your advantage, but you've got a long way to go here. Not for that choke. This is where we saw Vizio stationed early on before they utilized that redeploy here. It's one of the hardest areas to hold onto if they opt to stick around.
And it looks like Team Intel was eliminated, but, you know, valiant effort. They unfortunately were eliminated at 18th place, but, you know, it happens. Looks like TSM is moving in. Yeah, they're taking the top railway here. But they do know that there are teams existing above them and in front, so they're going to take this as cautiously as possible and look at the other teams that are also rotating in. I mean, World's Edge kind of has different options for you to rotate in, but there are specific choke points, and this circle is definitely showcasing them.
Right. TSM currently sitting in 15th. They've got a bit of some strife ahead of them. We pointed this one out fairly early on. Most of these squads are already now into some of the most major positions, especially these chokes here, as they'll set up maybe a happy home here on the high ground. One of my favorite god spots when we talk about a finish in staging versus this little village here, but they're gonna have to take some fights before they're able to move on.
I like the way you say happy home here. Like they're not in the middle of battle or anything.
No.
They're making a nice happy little, they're getting domestic. It's nice. It's cute.
Hey, they've got a home, I don't. So that's happy in my book.
Okay, well, okay, so back to the game. Looks like Hal is nailing some of his wingman shots, but he's also taking quite a bit of damage here and not quite able to connect the rest of those shots. So he's gonna have to back off and shield here.
Sweet also taken just as low there, but was able to provide the beam necessary to wipe and pull down Messiah. The dome is down there on the tracks, and TSM, they're going to full send this one, hopefully get that before the revive comes through, but they just don't quite have the movement to punish that one out there. Hal, shield will be broken, doesn't quite get the Kraken response. This is going to give the opportunity for Splash to run.
I mean, they may not have had the movement there, but they definitely had the shots. But now they're getting shot in the back, so they need to be very conscious of all the teams that are surrounding them right now. Unfortunately, if they had pushed that bubble, they may have been able to finish that fight there and secure some KP, but now they have to play for their lives and make sure they can get into a safe position. So
they give up that high ground position. That's the main crucial issue there, as Complexity quickly swoops in to take that one away there. And you've got another squad out there towards the north. Enemy picked up the starting knock there on to Splash off of their escape. It was Sweet here on TSM tonight that did find the KP for themselves back onto the TSM roster, but it gives you the idea that there is a bit of a split presence. TSM might be squished if they stick around, and remember, they're nowhere close to where that zone will be finishing.
yeah, look at these beautiful R301 beams. R301, good old reliable. I mean, listen, I love my flatline, but the R301, just slap it 3 times on it, call it a day.
TSM.
Complexity.
They've got a long way to go here. They might be going for the long route all the way on the outside, where we saw Team Liquid fairly early on, and maybe playing into a region like this. We watch Esports Arena. This is where we've seen squads, like I said earlier, Renegades, Start a Fight. This is where they were at, and most notably, you can see because of that beacon that we have the advantage in terms of information. The zone will be falling out here towards the far eastern end of Thermal Station. Not just that, but also the wall across the valley, a very rare end for the circle. Usually it definitely pulls more directly here into the area that you currently see Esports Arena Station.
Yeah, and Esports Arena is trying to actively look at the team that is in Godspot. But, I mean, the flatline is great, but even with the 3 times, it doesn't quite have that reach there. So they're just going to have to stay bundled up here. I mean, they do have the Caustic on Skittle, so I think they're doing okay here. It's just a waiting game. It looks like they are trying to find a good angle just to sit at or just mess around because they're getting a little antsy, and that's all right because it's Circle 3. I mean, I get it. And Vizio is Ooh, they have been holding this position for quite some time.
And it feels bad too because we saw them early rotation all the way out to where the zone is actually closing, and they went for the big dive, maybe because they heard shots or maybe because they obviously wanted to be in one of the power positions here. Now they have to fight against everyone else in front of them, being one of the furthest edge squads here when we talk about rounds 4 and 5 and further. Vizio starting this one off. Some big ornaments thrown. They know that dome's down. I love this angle from Fury.
Ooh.
Always so good at finding those that really separate this squad from the pack, as Scissors continues to set up the choke. The Peacekeeper slides in. Another headshot found there.
Beautiful.
Start that one off with the crack.
Yeah, it looks like Renegades are also engaging in a fight themselves with a huge need. Just absolutely bullying, but they do have to pull back inside because of this bombardment, and they are aware of the other team across the way, so now they are trying to defend from 2 different pushes. I mean, this is getting messy. Everyone wants to exist in the same area, but it's just not going to happen.
That beacon is just so important here, especially for the long run, you know? We haven't even had the opportunity to see how Zone 5 will truly close out if it does pull to these buildings here. So the fact that Renegades have that information available to them will carry them far into this game. Remember, they did place 3rd on the back end of Game 2, so definitely showing some improvement here. One of the best nights out of them in our Series E season. Renegades, though, this is that Esports Arena squad that holds the other building, and they've kind of given up this angle that we saw them fighting out here fairly early on. They gotta be careful. Yes, they can put down some hefty damage and find a crack like that, but if they themselves don't clean it up quickly, Esports Arena will come.
Yeah, and Vaxlon not only has 1 shield cell left, so they also need to be very aware of their resources and not overextend too much because, I mean, look, if you're not going to be pushing off of that, you may as well not waste your ammo or resources on that, and it looks like Vizio is actually going to be rotating out, but, I mean, the circle's already closing in. We know that there are squads that have already boarded up. There's not going to be a lot of place to go.
TSM here, central underneath. This can be a fairly risky place to be, but I like it a lot better than where we saw them a moment ago when we talk about being holed up all the way in staging here. So while it's going to be rough coming out here, especially playing into some of the more elevated positions when we look out towards the east there, it's better than where they were at. Look at that scaffolding directly right in front of them. You're getting a beautiful view from Hal right now as 100 Thieves falls in the kill field. That's going to be very tough for them to fight up against here if they don't have the opportunity, and I think they're just going to go for the redeploy.
Yeah, it's going to be rough moving out of there unless, especially the longer they wait. Looks like Vizio is holding the top of this location here, but they're not really able to get into any meaningful cover. Ooh, Ghost just pushing here, taking out Splash Phoenix and getting that finish. I mean, they're doing pretty all right, but we know that there are a lot of teams here, and one fight making all that noise means that another's going to be coming.
Now Team Liquid versus Vizio. Fury, the only one left standing here, trying to take that 1v1, but unable to do so there. My apologies. Looks like it was a bit of a mix. It was Knights who were directly in that corner there. We might have had 3 squads fighting for their life there, as now Guild going to be able to get both of his teammates back up. Surprisingly, no one in the area to capitalize. Back towards Ghost here. We just saw their take against Phoenix in a moment. Now looking to take off against that other scaffolding that we have been setting up here. And what I really like about this is if these 2 squads go for each other, full pedal to the metal, this gives Team Liquid, or TSM, my apologies, potentially the opportunity to come out from that center successfully. As looks like Liquid doing just fine for themselves. They're setting up for all the rotations that I've just set up, right? They're going to be the gatekeepers.
I mean, listen, at this point, you kind of have to, because you know that, look, if you have the superior positioning, all you got to do is wait for your enemies to mess up, and you can just capitalize on that. And that is a solid play. Now, Esports Arena is existing on the bottom of this building. Not a lot of cover, especially with that Valkyrie ultimate coming out, and they're probably going to get scanned here. Again, there's nowhere for them to really go without getting hit out of the sky.
They should have had that other building. As I can see in the feed right now, it doesn't look like it is being taken, so they're evidently setting up for the end game here. right? A lot of those squads will be coming out from this thermal station, and they want to protect themselves by potentially already being in position to hold out here instead of taking their own kind of 50-50 on the sidelines of the building that they were originally within. Problem is, it's not the best cover to work with, right? I mean, they had what was that entire location to themselves, and I know this is the god spot, but I mean, you're scrapping for crumbs there, Esports Arena.
Yeah, well, hopefully their caustic barrels can hide them for a little bit longer. TSM, they're doing okay. I mean, their shields look pretty great. Ooh! Just, they're going to be able to move in here pretty quickly because there isn't really anyone extending too far because everyone wants to stay within their little bunkers. But yeah, C9 is also pretty far out of that rotation here. But they're looking okay on heals. I mean, everyone's just going to be slowly moving in, and it looks like a bombardment is coming down here. So they're trying to dodge it.
They're doing a great job of that thus so there as C9 comes out fairly well off the back end of that bombardment. And I'm curious to see that Zone is closing them out from making any moves towards the south. You do see the ping there, so they're going to risk moving through the circle to come out on top, as we do see Bumbling Otter taken out there from Mazer. Start that one off. Looks like the squad, though, an angle from behind, but quickly, C9, they reorient themselves, dome down. Yes, Everlely is looking low there, but a quick return with the Mastiff will put the damage potentially necessary for C9 to win this one as Zach Mazer, the last one standing there, is, oh my gosh, just one tick away from what was the death of Ghost there.
No, they almost had to full team wipe, but it was 1 HP. The difference, oh my goodness. Unfortunate for them, but I mean, hey, such is the game. And it looks like Reps actually has a Kraber now, which I believe he took from Rakanishu, which I was looking at the kill feed earlier. So they were able to take out Noble's Rak there and take that Kraber, and they are just holding out, getting more KP. I mean, they're sitting pretty. Ooh, especially with the Kraber. I mean, they're just going to be holding out squads, and they are going to get the upper ground, and Renegades here, actually, taking out Ghost.
Yeah, that's the last member of Ghost there. We saw TSM put the majority of the damage down from them trying to find the rotation, but remember, they are a low health 3-man here. TSM, they actually have full advantage of the high ground compared to anyone else right now, and as a result, Zalt, that might be just it for the Renegade squad here. As now TSM, they don't have any cover to work with here, but the positioning is so strong.
Ooh! Beautiful. The Kraber being put to good use here from Reps.
2 shots left.
2 shots left, yup. Oh no. I mean, they're doing fine though. They are holding this. They have the superior positioning. So they can wait this out here. Ooh, Razor. In kind of a precarious situation. I mean, this is a legit spot to be in, but you don't want to be in here for too long. But they are holding out this team down here, which is great. But I mean, everyone's just scrambling because everyone's looking down on each other.
Razor here, they've got a bit of a mix of control. They're fearing lives on that kind of low crevice, trying to punish out teams like Complexity and start a fight. Meanwhile, the TSM literally has the entire rest of the circle to themselves. Look at the angles as Reps and Sweet and Hal now try to start this one off. They see the fact that Razor is nowhere close to a good position as a result. Try to start the fight. Asura here on the sideline trying to get a revive. And quickly Hal will swoop in to punish them and take us down to 4 squads remaining.
Unfortunate. I was just about to point out, hey, they're still alive back there. But
this is
yeah, no,
this is a TSM win.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they just have all the eyes on all the angles. I mean, this is just easy cleanup for them right now. Oh my goodness. They are just absolutely demolishing this lobby. Reptar kind of out in the open by himself. I mean, he is Valkyrie though, so he might be able to get into these little angles. But Hal also on Valkyrie is like, no, you're not going to go anywhere. You are mine.
I mean, they don't even have to risk it. They can give us a fairly boring ending as, oh my gosh.
Oh my god, no way!
Tries to take to the redeploy, and that's it. What an anticlimactic finish there. But they tried, okay? We'll give them credit. They had nothing else going for them. They had to make moves like that as TSM. Whew! That was a tough game turned into gold there.
Listen, I've never wanted to pick up a wingman more. That was beautiful, but also just I think he could have given them one chance, but he was like, "No, I'm ending it here." And you know, lava burn damage. There you go. TSM wins game number 3.
Hey, it's been a long time since we've seen them perform here at Series E, at least regarding some of these previous weeks. But we all know what TSM is capable now, of course, coming off the back end there of the ALGS playoffs. Granted, off of that last game, they were in 15th place. So when we talk about that Mobile One leaderboard, there's a ways to go before they compete against the top of the top. That'll be decided behind us here as we here on the desk, of course, will be going to break one more time.
Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. With the bars and the breaks, I'm talking one chance, yeah, we're so good for the goal. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Etc.
I'm fading.
One bad headache can crash your entire game.
Excedrin relieves headaches fast.
Excedrin, game over for headaches.
What's up, guys? Tyler Endress, CEO and founder of Esports Arena. And did you know that Esports Arena is located inside Walmarts all throughout the country? We're here in Tulsa, Oklahoma right now at one of our awesome Walmart stores. Let's go take a look. Fantastic, right? So typically in the front of the store, you see we got a Subway here, you got some Walmart services, but right there is the Tulsa Esports Arena. Right up front. So literally, if you're just doing some grocery shopping, you're gonna check out over here. Simple as that, or you could check out right in here. We've got Calvin, my man Calvin right here. Hey, yo, log me in on station number 8.
You got it, Tyler.
All right, I'm getting logged in. We're ready to go play some video games. Look at that. The best video cards in the industry. The best CPUs in the industry. The best gaming chairs in the industry. The best Razer peripherals in the industry, the best monitors that let you hit that 200 frames per second in the industry, no screen tearing whatsoever. all right here at Esports Arena. Now, I'd let you keep following me along, but I got a tournament to play tonight, so I'm going to get some practice in.
It's refreshing, refreshingly sweet, but without sugar, 0 calorie treat. They're all our top flavored smash.
It's fruit freshing.
We're gonna do it in 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Eat, Speak, Compete.
Eat, Speak, Compete.
Yes. What have you been playing this week?
More of all these guys. Somebody say another booster box.
Yeah, right?
I'm not excited for the release of New Worlds.
But when you look at the Hallmark titles of the last decade, it feels like they're finally ready.
They finished strong.
Like 35-2.
And I just typed dance question mark and
Put maybe Kyle, if you're watching, put like a red alarm or whatever in my hand right here. Pause and go watch it, or you can just skip the weekend. We're gonna talk about it. Final spoiler warning. Lou.
Oh yeah.
The little web slinger.
I literally feel like it's a guaranteed flop.
Follow us on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, or if you want to see our gorgeous faces, we're over on YouTube. Just search Esports Arena.
Dang. That's super fun sounding.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be awesome.
That sounds super fun. I think that
Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on applying the scheme. The true slide trademark is at the edge of your dreams. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. Put the bars to the brakes. I'm talking one chance episode, goes for the goal. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
I'm fading.
One bad headache can crash your entire game.
Excedrin relieves headaches fast.
Excedrin, game over for headaches.
What's up, guys? Tyler Endress, CEO and founder of Esports Arena. And did you know that Esports Arena is located inside Walmarts all throughout the country? We're here in Tulsa, Oklahoma right now at one of our awesome Walmart stores. Let's go take a look. Fantastic, right? So typically in the front of the store, you see we got a Subway here, you got some Walmart services, but right there is the Tulsa Esports Arena. Right up front. So literally, if you're just doing some grocery shopping, you're gonna check out over here. Simple as that, or you could check out right in here. We've got Calvin, my man Calvin right here. Hey, yo, log me in on station number 8.
You got it, Tyler.
All right, I'm getting logged in. We're ready to go play some video games. Look at that. The best video cards in the industry. The best CPUs in the industry. The best gaming chairs in the industry, the best Razer peripherals in the industry, the best monitors that let you hit that 200 frames per second in the industry, no screen tearing whatsoever. All right here at Esports Arena. Now I'd let you keep following me along, but I got a tournament to play tonight, so I'm gonna get some practice in.
Refreshingly sweet, but without sugar, 0 calorie treat. They're all our top flavored splash.
It's fruit freshin'.
Welcome back, everybody. Apologies for the delay there, a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are getting right back to things. We will have game 4 here momentarily, but of course, game number 3 all done there. Let's check out our player of the game for that third game, and it's of course going to go to Hal here, the leader of TSM. They were absolutely frying the entire lobby in that game. You can see Hal here with 8 kills and 3 assists and just short of 2,000 damage in that one. Of course, playing here with Sweet Dreams in for Verhulst, and that is a terrifying trio to compete against, and they showed up really strong there in Game 3. That's going to be a big boon to their points on the Mobile 1 leaderboard, so we'll have to see how they certainly shake things up there when we go back to Stella and Zephyr here momentarily, but a big game there from TSM. Of course, I want to remind you folks, if you're looking to grab some Esports Arena merch, maybe a brand new jersey to support your favorite Series E squad, you can grab it over at shop.esportsarena.com. Make sure to head over there today and pick up everything you need. Again, that's shop.esportsarena.com. We are going to go to another quick break, but when we come back, we're kicking off game number 4 of Series E Pro Night.
A long break there, but we are officially back here at Series E. Once again, bringing you that pro night here in Season 4. Hot off the trails of a TSM victory. Let's quickly move on. Let's look at that Mobile 1 leaderboard and see where they fall.
Ooh. Oh my God. What a giant leap. 37. First place with 37 points. I mean, and Team Liquid, okay, Team Liquid is in second as well. C9 in third, and fourth is Team Vizio and G2 in fifth. I mean, they're all in the 20s except for TSM, which is now in 37. I mean, that was a huge game for TSM.
That is a 31-point game here for TSM, and we got to see the opportunity for Liquid to strut their stuff and pull off a victory out of Game 2, and it was nowhere close to that kind of leap. So now TSM, they're on top of the world here as we approach our second half of games. And Xset, the struggle continues here for Harvester.
You know, you have to commend them for their conviction to Harvester. I mean, honestly, I think I would keep dropping here just out of spite. I told you, I exist out of pure spite and stubbornness, so I get it. But they are getting kind of clapped for it. I understand the conviction, but oh, there goes. That's 2 of them down. Oh, but CLG got one of them knocked. But I mean, they're still at an advantage here.
Yep, they still have the numbers advantage coming in the back end of that fight, but obviously not for long there. Xset once again going to be our first team out here in game 4. A repeat of the last, and CLG not as clean this time around, but they'll still take a happy 3, man, as now we get the opportunity to take a look here at that round 2 zone. Once again, going to be playing into the south, but not directly Siphon. You got plenty of points of interest. It's going to be pulling far out here towards our east.
Yeah, and it looks like Excedrin is taking shots at another team in this location. I don't know if they... Ooh, okay, they did connect that longbow shot there, enemy. Ooh, with no sight. So this is going to be a little bit rough. Oh, but they got the crack. Okay, maybe they'll be fine. I mean, I think they're feeling pretty good. They have enough for a fight, and if they do take this, I mean, they're going to have this entire location for themselves.
Not like they need it, but hey, you know what? If you can make short work like that, no sight to your name here, enemy, then my opinion doesn't quite matter. As he continues to find the shots!
Oh no!
Enemy precision, baby!
That was unfortunate for Splash there, but I mean, oh my goodness! Listen. Why were you out there by yourself? You know, there's a longbow out there. Don't push for yourself. Looks like Kimchi is going to have to top off here, but I mean, they know that this is a 3v2. They're looking pretty good. They feel confident. They are playing on the lower ground, so they are going to have to rearrange themselves, but I mean, ooh, and Kimchi does get hit by that thermite there, and the dome does have to come out.
There's a good angle, though, from enemy to kind of protect him there. Right, Kimchi pulls back into that dome, but because the longbow's providing the coverage, it doesn't matter. That's the last bullet, though. So, enemy gonna have to find either a separate weapon or some of the ammo there. Right there as he picks it up, gonna reload, go back to the fights here out on the ends of staging and continue. Put down the damage, no sight. I mean, I just love that.
Yeah, they're going to have to be careful, though, because this is, I mean, it's a pretty open location, and ooh, yeah, enemies also taking some shots here as well. So, I mean, you don't know. There might be a rotation into there, but who knows? They did get 1 KP, so, I mean, there you go.
Renegades here have been showing up throughout the rest of tonight. A little bit better performance compared to what we typically see out of them here, and they make quick rotation at 3 where they typically start there. Able to pick up Matt Pickett in full thirst. Now, start a fight officially going to be that 1 member down as the Renegades continue to take complete control here. They're going to be betting for the full eastern side of zone, and I can understand it. You get both the city as well as Big Mod to play through compared to having to fight through the cluster that is Siphon. So for now, they hold up, but not exactly completely. They're constantly popping out here, trying to see if they can pick up even more, as Pow Pow is giving me the jitters.
Yep. I do want to point out that, ooh, yeah, Crummy is downed. I do want to point out, though, that enemy was able to take down another Splash member. I believe it was Blight. So they are still actively in that fight, which is going on for a little bit too long.
These G2s, they're the one who are actually taking out the rest of that Splash roster here, so they actually picked up the entirety. As now we take a look at Esports Arena, also in the Lava City area. I like that choke on the Peacekeepers, knocked, slides through. Had the opportunity to see him skeet shoot earlier, as it's going to be Duplex taking out Kill there. Might burn a little bit from the thermite, but with that major misnomer down there, Esports Arena should be just fine with the control of this building.
Oh, that was an unfortunate clustering from Knights there, and they are eliminated in 18th place. I mean, it was an effort, but it wasn't good enough, and now Esports Arena is going to be okay to just fully recover.
Yeah. On the opposite end there, you obviously have what we just saw, Renegades in the building across here. Start a fight. I believe that was their last member taken out. We saw the earlier 2 from Renegades, and now last one picked up there from Sauce as well. So keep that narrative running here as these teams continue to fight for, I guess, the priority in our Lava City. There's plenty of room to share, guys, but hey, KP's KP.
Listen, as an aggressive player, I totally get it. Looks like Ghost is full pushing into here. I mean, hey, listen, you gotta get the job done, all right? As a Fuse player, you have to be aggressive. What do you mean?
I mean, if that's what you say, I'm all for. I mean, I'm nowhere close to an aggressive player. I'm a little baby boy, okay? You can see me finding those cluster compositions with an absolute glee, just abusing, say something like that caustic out there on the map, because obviously I'm just so terrible. Ghost here, they're gonna have to fight into one themselves, as that gas will prevent them from going full throttle here. Dome down as they make their way in through the center of this building. Can't quite land what they want with the Peacekeeper, but finally it's that final peek from Dressup to grind him down there. And that will be the rest of Razor out.
That was a little dicey for a minute with the gas, but I mean, they were able to push. Oh, and VSA here kind of struggling on this fight here, but I think they may be okay now. They might be able to make the full recovery here, keep everyone else at bay, and just retreat back into the building. Because they have a caustic, they're able to go back to this safe location and peek in and out, which is really good for them.
Mind you, this
and they are actually in the next circle, too.
Right. I was about to say, this was actually the spot that Renegades, of course, had held on to, and we just saw them fall there. And we were discussing how they were in the building across. At some point, they had decided that they didn't quite like what they had for themselves, and they wanted to take that one away. So keeping up with the constant pace of action here in Lava City, some of the highest tempo games that we've seen all night long, sitting 14 squads remaining here already in round 2.
Hey, listen, I'm all for action-packed games. I love early game fights because if you win an early game fight, you carry the rest of that confidence with you. But it does look like Vizio is the team that is stuck in this tunnel and is trying to take this building away. But I don't know, that's always a really precarious situation and location to be in.
Yeah, especially because you have to defend against potentially both angles behind yourself. That's why you have the split from that squad, as yes, they try to fight the city. C9 though, still far out here towards the north. Nice crack, found that R301. Old Faithful continuing to beam here, as it's going to be Reptar found. Now Stay Naughty climbing up there onto the high ground. Come on, go back! CLG. They're taking their own fight. We'll talk about this one instead.
They already have an alternator as well, too, so they are doing pretty well here. But it is down to a 1v3 now. I mean, is this alternator going to be enough?
Ooh, nerf the two members up. Dimmy, though, more importantly, able to find the full bat, and hopefully that will extend the lifeline here of this team, as nerf is picked up from behind. It is Noble swooping in, hearing the action, and as a result, going to third party. This one, I love that dome, prevents any source of damage, but the Valkyrie, surprising, plays up toward that second level. Only Bumbling Otter able to chase and able to find the long-range Peacekeeper shot to take nerf.
Pretty good Valkyrie there, but honestly, that was such a clean Peacekeeper shot. I can't even be mad. Looks like C9 is moving back into this location that we saw them move from, but they're going back. I think they know another team is around here.
They were successful in picking up complexity there. So while we didn't get the opportunity to see it, they did find the kills off of their chase. So back into Geyser they go. Granted, I don't know. Yes, they are going for, I believe, a little bit of that chase there, as they see the Geyser reposition play into the high ground edge there. Geyser are a little bit of a difficult area to make your way out of, but if you can take control, especially of those northern chokes that are already available, that C9 knows about, right, then it can be very good for the late game. That's why you probably won't be seeing them make any hasty movements out of this area for the time being.
Yeah, and they do know that there is a team overlooking them from Big Mod's location, that choke point, because they did see shots fired from that location. So they're going to be very cautious of all the different choke points here and just keep an eye on everything. But yeah, they are totally okay in this position. They don't have a bunker legend, but I mean,
they're fine.
Exist here. Yeah, not a problem.
I'm more worried about teams kind of coming out from the north and then trying to take that one away, or those who don't really get to have a nice home for themselves in Lava Siphon making their way out towards the east, trying to cluster into where C9 currently present themselves. Obviously, they're within the building right now, being the safest location, but they have Zach Mazer set up, and where I really want to see this team go, especially as things tighten up here. But they got to defend their backside first. That's why you see Stay Naughty and the rest of them on that sight line, watching Grandma's house there right on the ridge.
Is that actually Grandma's house? Oh, it looks a little different from the last one.
I'll be honest, they're all Grandma's house to me. That's just what people call them.
Okay, okay, cool. So when we say meet at Grandma's house, we mean that one. That is officially now Grandma's house.
Oh, okay. For tonight, I swear there's like 7 Grandma's houses on the map.
No,
We've
those
got a
are
retirement
Doritos.
home here
Those
on
are
World's Edge.
Doritos. This is Grandma's house. Okay, we go there for cookies or KP. All right.
Someone's gonna flame me in chat for not knowing the difference, but I'm sorry if I'm inept in that description. Okay, I'm doing my best to learn as much as I can. All right. Take it to the DMs. Okay, I'll be happy to reply.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it looks like Ghost is looking at all the angles here, but I mean, these bins, these locations are not entirely great for peeking out because you can get shot at from so many different areas, so many different POIs. It is a wide open spot.
Thankfully, they are within the realm of that zone there, so not going to be forced to move anytime soon. And from the heavens above, they get a crafter as going to be able to put themselves hopefully on some bats for the long run here as these fights begin to tighten up. Just like C9, though, they're defending against any of those who are coming out from the north. They have a nice position for now, though, in Lava Siphon, so I don't expect them to be making any movements. TSM, though, they're playing exactly the way we typically see. Straight for that zone, going to try to hold this one out right in the core of Big Mod. They don't opt to go directly for the point of interest, just playing on the outside here, but playing on the outside is how they won Game 3, taking their time, kind of assessing what was available in front of them, and then playing off of the mistakes of those.
Yeah, especially with this circle that's going to be closing soon. They know that the Big Mod team is going to have to push out eventually, so I mean, they're just keeping an eye on that and the choke. We know that TSM is a strong team that they can take these fights, but I mean, they need to be very careful that they don't get thirded immediately because that choke point is pretty easy to get through. And ooh, beautiful wingman shots though from Hal.
Nice. Hal, maybe a few more of those, and they might be able to usurp that position, take it for their own. But I think they're fairly happy where they currently stand. The issue is when you get a bit more of the collapse, these teams really throttling for Big Mod, and then suddenly this cover doesn't look that good, especially right there on the edge. It's basically nothing to work with. I believe they have the knowledge, though, that zone obviously will be pulling out here away from that point of interest directly, so more so being the gatekeepers themselves.
Yeah, and you know, TSM is pretty good at that. I mean, they have very strong aim, so the fact that they're able to just reposition themselves and push in when they know that the enemy team is weak is very important. Oh, okay. Kimchi here,
back here
with the Peacekeeper shots, just absolutely destroying, putting in that damage. Oh, but he does get down.
And now in response there, C9, they're the ones to swoop into the mix of this action here, take advantage of the last remaining member that exists there from Excedrin. So 2 full squads down, both Ghost as well there, heard the shots and quickly followed up. No surprise, they were in the area, they've been waiting. Back to TSM though, they finally made their way into Big Mod, unable to find the team they wanted directly, hunting them out, predator upon prey.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're fine existing here. They are making the portal just in case they want to make a nice little getaway, which is very smart. But yeah, I don't know. I honestly hate fighting on Big Mod. There are so many different levels. You can never find the right staircase, and even if you do, you get caught in because people are looking down on you. So it's a pretty good idea to move out and just to shoot as the other team moves out as well. So, I don't know. This is going to be a weird fight. They're going to be making a lot of noise, and they do realize that they need to reposition or at least rethink their strategy, because now they are getting looked at from the choke.
Yep, that high ground choke, that's going to become the problem that TSM will face here, because the squads that are currently in Big Mod more than likely will fight each other before taking anything against TSM, and as a result there, once they finally do make their move, you have plenty of entities who are going to be willing or able to capitalize there from kind of that aggressive take. So TSM, I don't know where I would really want them right now. This is a very hard zone to play out of, especially because you're running into the high ground if you want to be in a position like Vizio, who holds on to that choke out towards the north. Not the one we were discussing, but something very similar. As now, Phony down. Aberrayli taken out in response, 2 for 2, but it's the swoop from behind. Zach Mazer with the Mastiff. This is a big game for C9.
Yeah, C9 has done such a great job of making sure every bullet counts. And I mean, listen, we have seen so many matches today where the enemy team has been on 1 HP and they end up winning. It is about staying composed and making sure that you make every single last use of your bullets. Looks like ESA is also coming on another team here. Oh, they're getting hit from behind as well. I mean, this is hard. This is a rough area because you really don't have a lot of cover. You know that teams are already established in these different locations, and you've just got some pebbles to work with.
Esports Arena, they've got to be very careful there. They're so split as Intel starts this one off, finds this knock onto Skill Cakes as well as the full thirds. Skill Cakes reduced to the box here, and while yes, they're going to be able to pick up some KP down onto G2 there, how long it will last. A big punch into zone. See if he can restrict him. I mean, I like the moves there, but Nox had to come through and finish the job.
That is honestly, that's even worse than just teabagging someone's box. Oh my god, that was the most BM I have ever seen. Oh my god, only here at Esports Arena, folks. Let's just say that.
Now Intel, they were the ones to fall first here, and as a result, it's C9 finally coming out there from Geyser where we last saw them to take that one away. I like how they leave Stay Naughty in position exactly where you want to be right now, in control of that cart. The only other two teams still left up and alive, that being 100 Thieves and Team Liquid. It looks like TSM did fall in between all the action there, so a little too much pressure from all sides.
Yeah, and honestly, those little train boxes are not enough cover, especially if you have a caustic. I think it's a little bit easier to hold because the gas does give you extra cover, but without that, and with Sweet having already used his ultimate, there was just no getting out of any position.
Well, C9's game to lose here. They've got so much control here of the outstanding area. They're going to start this one off by trying to find some nice angles from 100 Thieves. I don't want them to go too aggressive. The idea, of course, here is to force Team Liquid to move up away from where they're at against the back of that wall there from Big Modman, forcing that fight here. But hey, Liquid, C9, both currently in second and third, and with TSM down, this is a game that will push them into the top of the leaderboard.
Absolutely. 100 Thieves looking pretty good here. They do. Ooh. Okay, they are within cover here. They are going to be able to get their shields off. But I don't know. This is going to be a rough last circle. 3 squads left, though. I mean, that's manageable, right?
Yeah, I mean, not for someone like me, but for these guys, the best of the best. They make short work of that idea here as Liquid. They're on the ops end, completely parallel to 100 Thieves. I love the cracks with the SETI from Fun there from afar as a little bit of damage going to push him back. Hold for the battery for now.
Yeah, those are some very crispy shots with the Sentinel. Usually I criticize the Sentinel for being a little bit slower, but it does hit pretty hard. But yeah, they do have the long range, but I mean, as soon as this closes, they're going to have to opt for close range fights. So I don't know. At this point, I would have switched off my Sentinel, but they do want to keep that damage going.
Yeah, that might come back to bite Fun here. Hopefully there's a death box. Maybe already has that one planned out, because this one will definitely go quickly into mid-range here as these teams are forced to fight with that zone, pressuring them into the clutches of C9, our overlords upon the high ground.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I mean, we've got lots of boxes. You get tiny cover, and it's just going to be all of these. You see that the Gibraltars are holding on to their bombardments as well, because they know as soon as the circle gets closer, like, you're not going to have many places to hide.
You got to hope that you force C9 out from that cover that we had the perfect opportunity to see, and right through the crack of the fence there, quickly found C9. They're going to be moving out here. You already see a bit of the split there as now 100 Thieves in their own right having to come out from their right-hand held position. And the closer these two squads get, the more they're going to have to face each other, except for C9.
These are some really great shots with the Sentinel, but I mean, you want more, you want that auto damage though. Like, you want to be able to fire fast, because these fights are going to go so quickly. I mean, look at Fun's damage with the Thermite just going down. He's going to have to bat. They can't really push off of that because they need everyone to be helping this final fight. And I don't know, that Sentinel needs to be switched off here, but they might opt for the right squad.
Maybe take this one onto 100 Thieves. Both of them looking so low there. Onmu, the first to fall in the face here of our final closing zone, as C9 will take advantage of that pressure and begin to wipe out the rest. Finally, the position playing to their advantage. Scurry to the sky, straight upon the lights, trying to hide in the shadows, but it's just too bright. Falls down, and C9 are your champions.
Oh my god, I feel so bad, but we got front row seats to Scurry just actually scurrying, trying to do anything to get on top of that light. Listen, we've been there. It may have worked if he had just landed a little bit faster, but unfortunately, he got caught in that mantle animation and got taken out, and C9 bided their time and took the win.
I'm more than sure that C9 comes out on top now, a happy position in first place. You got to remember, this entire game has been a C9 chokehold, from taking out Complexity to start with, all the way outside of Geyser, then into Geyser against the likes of Ghost and Knights there, of course, in some of the houses outside of Siphon, then into some of those final fights. They picked up plenty of KP to work with. That will now push them to the top. But that's the Mobile One leaderboard, and we've got to go to a break before we have the opportunity to take a look at it. So stick around.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Eat, Speak, Compete.
Eat, Speak, Compete.
Yes. What have you been playing this week?
More of all these guys. Somebody say another booster box.
Yeah, right?
I'm not excited for the release of New Worlds.
But when you look at the Hallmark titles of the last decade, it feels like they're finally ready.
They finished strong. Like 35-2.
And I just typed dance ? And
Kyle, if you're watching, just put like a red alarm or whatever in my hand right here. Pause and go watch it, or you can just skip the weekend. We're gonna talk about it. Final spoiler warning. Luke.
Oh yeah.
The little web slinger.
I literally feel like it's a guaranteed flop.
Follow us on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, or if you want to see our gorgeous faces, we're over on YouTube. Just search Esports Arena.
Dang. That's super fun sounding.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go.
That sounds super fun. I think that
refreshingly sweet, but without sugar, 0 calorie treat. They're all our top bars, favorite splash.
It's fruit freshen.
I'm fading.
One bad headache can crash your entire game.
Excedrin relieves headaches fast. Excedrin, game over for headaches.
I'm fading.
One bad headache can crash your entire game.
Excedrin relieves headaches fast. Excedrin, game over for headaches.
Game number 4 all done there. Just 2 remain ahead of us, and C9 doubling up on their wins so far, grabbing their second of the night. C9TL and 100 Thieves in that late circle. I feel like I'm watching an LCS broadcast all of the sudden, but C9 coming out on top, looking really good here. Let's check out our 4th player of the game for tonight. We had Zach Mazer in game number 1 with C9's strong performance, and this time it's going to be our old friend Stay Naughty. 9 kills this time around and 2 assists, and just short of 1,400 damage in that one. C9 absolutely frying. We saw TSM with their big game 3 catapult all the way to the top of that Mobile 1 leaderboard, but this tells me that I think C9 may have regained control of first place, or at the very least are right in the running with TSM with that good showing, because that is at the very least 23 points for C9. So that's a huge game for the squad, and it seems like possibly the G2 run ends at 2. Still 2 games remain, so they still have an opportunity to make some magic happen, but it seems like somebody else is preparing to take the throne here on Series E Pro Night, and C9 definitely has a strong argument to do so with performances like we've seen from them so far tonight. So well done from them. We'll have to see if anybody can shake things up in game number 5. Do want to let you know, of course, talked about it earlier, but I want to remind you that, of course, if you're looking to pick up products from Excedrin, Nerf, any of our Series E partners, you can over at walmart.com/esports arena. Head over there today and grab whatever you need. We are going to go to another break. When we come back, Stella and Zephyr will check in on that Mobile 1 leaderboard, and we'll get ready for Game 5. Don't go anywhere.
Whether you're a fan of mozzarella sticks or onion rings, one thing is for sure. You're here at Series E, and we're still bringing you that Pro League action. Hot off the back of a C9 victory here, let's take a look at that monstrous win that clearly puts them in first place.
Yep. Yeah, that would do it. 57 points at first place.
I know my math.
Yeah, above TSM at 41 and Team Liquid at third with 37, and G2 in fourth with 32, and Team Esports Arena at 31. Ooh, okay. So third to fifth place is all that could be a toss up in the next 2 games. But I mean, C9 and TSM, they're going to be battling each other out because they're fairly close, but C9 has a pretty decent lead right now.
C9 sitting, of course, that 16-point lead there. TSM Liquid definitely going to be going toe-to-toe here, as, of course, you have the rest. G2 down as far as I would even say all the way to Nerf, potentially fighting for a top position here. As let's take a look now at our high-performance Mobile 1 moment of the game here.
Oh, it was this moment. Yeah, this one. I don't think we predicted this one, that C9 was going to come on top here, but they absolutely did. I mean, Fury put in so many good Mastiff shots and Wingman shots here, but it just wasn't enough.
It was Mazer.
Yeah, it was, they fought valiantly, but unfortunately just wasn't enough of an effort to take out Zach there. So, yeah, I mean, what a great game by C9. That was their game.
Yeah, no, that was the best performance we've seen on C9 across the board here for tonight as a whole. You know, they've had some of the victories, but that one was more than just that. Right there, you got the opportunity to see how they took out Vizio there, and the fact that, you know, they couldn't quite find the angles that they needed, and Mazer comes up from behind and was easily able to pick that one up. Double Mastiff provided to take out Vizio here and keep them low on the board here. They're not quite bottom 20, still sitting at what, something like 7th or 8th on the back end of our leader. But hey, when you're looking to place up there in the top number 1 or 2, you got to take out the rest.
Absolutely.
Take,
and I mean,
crazy.
Oh my God. Controversial. Why would you say something so brave?
Yeah, I know. So brave.
So-
Crazy. They
Yeah.
want to win. Wow,
We're
Zephyr.
going into our 5th game. I mean, this is really going to set the tone for who is going to be in the top 2 slots, at least. I mean, there could be a crazy last game, but I think we're already kind of seeing the lineup settle into place here.
Speaking of winners here, mozzarella sticks are the official winner here at Series A. So I just want to keep that online, officially on the VOD, as that vote finishes up in chat here. And back to Apex, your regularly scheduled programming here on World's Edge. Game 5, this is the one that Vicky Kitty has always liked to told me that it is the most important to behold. But what's more important is this matchup, CLG versus XSET. This time around, it's XSET's
Wait a
game to
minute.
win. Kenny finding 2.
Oh, they're... Honestly, can you blame them? But they can't really revel in this quite yet because there is one member still left. They're just absolutely taking out their revenge right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not quite their revenge. They're still looking to successfully wipe Vatro here. And now our Tomcat Rat in the crevices in front of our Harvester region. And remember, XSET, they don't make any hasty moves. I don't think Vatro will ever really be able to recover those banners from the last couple times we've seen this one take place here. So CLG already game 5 might be down already.
Oh man, and Excedrin in this, ooh, they're being forced to play from inside here, which could be beneficial, but oh yeah, getting that wingman crack there is huge, and the Gibraltar bubble does come down, but Kimchi is able to down Watson Twitch here.
Now up they go, trying to take advantage of the Horizon Wall still available, and it actually puts them in a terrible position. The sight line straight onto the high ground. I mean, there's no cover when you're flying through the air there. And remember, the Horizon launch, it's so slow. There's a reason why we typically don't see that Horizon
there it
pulled
is.
out. Now,
Yep.
cruising.
Yeah,
Taking
there's
low
that
there.
line of sight that you were talking about. It is
pull back.
not a great place to be, especially since this is one of those choke points you don't want to be caught in. I mean, you can easily be rotated on, and it looks like Vizio is having a little bit of trouble getting away from this point here, but I mean, they might be able to heal, maybe put down enough cover fire to get into Fragment, but it looks like they are just trying to get a rotate in here.
We've seen Vizio play the spot several times before. They love this high ground right on the edge of Epicenter. Granted, we're taking some damage of their own on their flee away from the area, hence why they're a little bit more reserved. Not quite going to be jumping the gun here just yet. For now, though, things have slowed up. I'm very curious to see where the zone is pulling towards. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've had the opportunity to check in on that.
No, we have not. But also, I think another reason that they are hesitant about engaging is because Phony only has 99 reserve ammo for his main gun. So they are actively trying to get more loot and resources. But it's okay. It's Circle 1 hasn't even started to close, so they're doing fine.
They have the Loba, so, you know, it's not like they're ever really going to be starving here. I don't think they're going for the team at this point. There has to be something playing in potentially with that zone there. The fact that Vizio is kind of taking such a heavy handle towards this region, this is exactly how they play this one out when the zone kind of moves up here. I'm kind of being the Sherlock Holmes of the map we have yet to see here as Fury, he's taking his own shots down there. Only white member here on that team, the rest sitting on the blue armors, and Fury will run for now as Intel sits across from them.
Yeah, it looks like Intel is going to be able to get this rotate in without Fury's team noticing. But, I mean, this is also a very open location. Yeah. Oh, and we do see some of the circle here, at least for circle number 3. So it is hugging this upper region here, which is fine. But, 100 Thieves right below Fury's team. So maybe they are looking down at this fight, or at least hearing this and paying attention to where the teams are going. Yeah, this location's a little bit rough to fight in because you can get shot at from so many different angles.
Ooh, and 100 Thieves now taking advantage of that frag start. It's fairly early on. We know TSM typically lands in the area. I don't think it would particularly be them. They're quick to move once that circle has provided its information. Either way, though, 100 Thieves doesn't really quite have the materials or resources to close that gap. So they pull back over here towards the edge where we see Vizio above, Razor, another squad that is playing within this epicenter area here, Fearing live, taking some chunks of damage of his own, just peppered from afar there. Take some time, put some shield back up alongside Dressev, a little cuddle corner for themselves here as Complexity. They're the ones doing most of the work.
Ooh, okay, very nice beams from Reptar here as they move in a little bit closer. They are fully chasing. I think they feel confident about this fight. I mean, it's... No. Ooh, yeah. that's... Oh, God. See, I would be so aggressive. I'm way too aggressive for my own good here.
It is hard to play into the survey area, especially once they find themselves into that building. Granted, they were cracked. You saw that it was full flesh there, so Complexity could have gone for it. But what I think is more important is, of course, holding on to that ridge there. It is one of the best areas to be here for the long run, especially since we don't have a good idea of where the main point of interest will come into play. And this is the only location in this northern zone that you get the opportunity to go for all 3. Now, when it comes to the final, rounds 4 and 5, I don't think it's the God spot. But as a provider for rotation, it's the best.
Yeah, I mean, Complexity's in a pretty good position right now. Oh, God, they keep getting people down to flesh. I think that Shiny is just building up shield right now, which is totally fine. Again, it is only round 1 that is closing. Ooh, so fine. This bridge, though, I don't like fighting on that bridge.
No, I think it's incredibly hard to defend. You have to cover both angles. But speaking of the bridge, on the opposite end of it, C9 have taken one of our no-named buildings here, successfully wiping out a squad as Start a Fight in their own right are also falling here. We take a look back down towards Fragment as TSM pick up their own fight. So our top 2 teams both equal KP on the board here.
Vizio has not moved from this location. I mean, they're doing fine. Yeah, they're doing fine. They're in circle. It doesn't have a lot of cover, but they're doing just fine here. TSM seeing this team just standing out in the open on this train track for some reason. They're going to take this fight. They want They want to eliminate them. Yeah, they have all the angles right now on this team. They absolutely have no cover, and they just easily demolish Team Ghost. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking just standing on the rails like that.
And the craziest thing is they don't cover their backside, and Sweet, literally, just pure perfection, slides right underneath the bridge, sets that one up perfectly. They're paying way too much attention to Hal and Reps there, and as a result, just are crippled instantly there from Sweet, picking up all 3 of those kills there. So hey, definitely a big move for Sweet to be on that TSM roster here tonight. I wish I could see a nail. Gia says now back to the Tomcat Rat Cam as Vatro has not moved.
He's so cute. Look at his little... He looks like a little teddy bear. I want to give him a hug. Oh my God. Look at...
You think he has the banners?
He's like, friends? Hello?
No, he
friends?
doesn't have the banners.
Oh my... Why did you have to make this Rat Cam look so sad? My heart hurts for him. Oh my God. Oh,
I really hope he had the opportunity to run back in there, even for those split of seconds, and maybe get the banners back. If not, he's alone, Stella.
I know, and it makes me sad. I'm extending a free hug to you. Okay, I'm extending a free hug to you. There you go.
Hugs are good, but they don't mean anything in the
Shut up! Shut up! I am being kind.
The Mobile 1 leaderboard has no pity.
Back to your regularly scheduled content. Oh my goodness. Okay, 100 Thieves is struggling a little bit right now. They're struggling to find cover. I mean, I think they're going to be fine. They do have the longbow and are able to connect shots, but I don't like fighting up here. There's just not a lot of cover, and while it also means that your enemy team also won't have cover, it's just a rough area.
You could play the high ground, defend against those kind of coming out of fragment, and that's why you see a lot of teams kind of post up there. But the problem is, in comparison to the other high grounds that are available, the one that Vizio typically holds on to is the best in terms of that southern sight lines. The rest don't have quite as much cover, as they are flat and compared to that kind of diagonal elevation that you get from the one that Vizio is working with, and most of the time you're not covered from the east. As a result, there are 100 Thieves. Well, it's good for now. Once this zone closes in, you've got the likes of teams like Noble, like ESA, like TSM, who will fight up through your area directly.
Yeah, look at ESA. They are sitting pretty up here. I mean, Overlook's always a really good location, but I don't think they noticed that team is existing right there. Yeah, and there it is, G2 coming up on ESA. I mean, they want to take the spot, and they're looking pretty good. This push is looking pretty well coordinated here. 2 Gibraltar domes come down. I mean, we're getting the side-by-side cam here. It looks pretty equal at the moment. Oh, but
he's on top, but now it's a 1-for-1 here. Gent versus Knocked, toe-to-toe. The dome is down. There's no cover to work with, and it's not even them who finished the fight. It's Sweet. TSM Sweet from afar comes in as they pick up the majority of that KP for themselves, and now Knocked running for the sniper tower there. Not going to last for long. I gotta hand it to TSM. They knew what they wanted, and they took it.
That was such fast movement on TSM's part. Oh my goodness. You have to love how they rotate so quickly and how quickly they react to certain fights happening, and they pay attention to the kill feed. It is, you know, Apex is such a... Once you get to these levels, it is such a high-level sport. And, oh, but Hal does get knocked here.
Such a high-level sport. Sorry.
Oh, okay, but Reps does get the revive with the gold bag, which is huge. I think they're going to be able to recover just fine here. They do have the gold shield as well, and we're switching over to Razor, who's securing KP, but are slightly outside of the circle, but I think they're fine. I think they're looking for the last 2 members here.
You've got a mix there from XSET that they're picking up in response there as we make our way back towards Intel. They themselves have moved out fairly far away from their initial start there that we saw on the high ground very early on. Seems like there could have been a team nearby, obviously that being TSM, but they didn't fall, right? So
yeah, I mean, Intel just like little vultures taking what they can. They're right next to the circle, so they'll be okay. But yeah, we've got 13 squads left, and Ring 3 is going to be closing in 1:30.
Excedrin here, holding on to quite a high point. If anyone spots him out, that's it for him. I'm telling you right now, he's not going to be able to drop quick enough there.
Oh yeah, especially when they notice that he's healing, even if it's a syringe. I mean, listen, 2 good sniper shots, especially in this lobby, and you're pretty much down.
Excedrin trying to take Liquid out from the skies there. See where they may land. Ooh, okay. A poor position. I mean, there's no real cover here to work with, and you're right in the face of those who kind of hold that God spot you like to call out there on Epicenter. So right into the crack, up against the wall. Don't know how long they'll last.
It is not looking good for them. I mean, Flanker was down to like 1 HP. Absolute. So it's not looking great for them, but all these other teams are still poking shots at each other. So they may survive for a little bit, but oh god, what a great portal location. They have all of these angles here. I mean, I don't think they can really go anywhere.
They want to go drop, try to see if they can go for the full send here on this bridge. The ordinances start that one out as the defense and bombardment will come down. That'll make sure that 100 Thieves are not able to stick around on top of the bridge as they were trying to set that one up. Meanwhile, TSM from behind on down there. It's a big wingman sling from Reps. They might not even be close. Reps could be 50, 100, 200 meters away picking that one up.
Yeah, I do have to shout out though that Rack is pretty good at fighting in these small enclosed spaces. I was watching him practice the other day, and he's pretty good at handling stressful situations in this. But this is still a very weird place to be, especially with all these teams existing, especially when you know that there's a team in God spot, a team just actively holding you out to the right, or to the left. So it's going to be a tough position to move from. Excedrin does lose Kimchi Lee here, but it is still, I mean, they still have 2 members up. They're just separated here. So if they can get a great cross angle, that might be good for them and they can even it out. But right now, they can't even get sights.
Looks like Kimchi Lee was taken out there. Knights, the other proprietor here of this cart, and when they tried to make their rotation down from their original position, probably with the Valk rotation, they were quickly capitalized upon here. And now, like you said, a big split between them, and I don't think it's going to be the angles that give them their victory there. I want to see them reconvene. Ooh, and now they know it's just the one man. Yep. 3v1 there. He's just going to have to run, give this one away, as Bumbling Otter takes out Cruisin on his own terms.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate. I mean, yeah, they got... That could have been really bad for him, but luckily he was able to get out. It looks like Noble is pushing into this trailer, and it's about to become a bloodfest in here. This is not a great position to be holding, but you do get that downwards angle on the train tracks there.
Now, in one of my favorite positions here, it's highly contested due to the fact it's incredibly hard to play within, especially if you've got the full 3-man roster. Usually we see, of course, those caustic bunker comps set themselves within there, but anyone can play that one out. Because of the diagonal kind of hillside it is located on, that cart is super hard to play into, right? You don't actually have that kind of go, but they move out of it. They start this one off. Noble into the fight here. Joey starts his own response, and they quickly wipe them out there. I mean, Noble, they went for quite the hefty engage. They didn't really have to.
Oh, and it's just enemy left on Excedrin, and I think he wants to engage in this fight just because he did see a team get eliminated, but he's not quite sure of the status of the surviving team, so I think he's just going to play for knowledge and stay back there. And Razor coming in late with the rotate. This is where things get dicey. You were talking about Valkyrie ultimates being tough, especially with rotations.
Intel's right here.
Yeah, I mean, where are you going to go? Everywhere you are going to take a fight, and you're going to be at a disadvantage because when you land, you can't immediately pull out your weapon. But Razor was able to land, but they do need to immediately fight in order to sustain any sort of pathing here.
And
oh no, what are you doing?
That's such a big rotation from Dress to go to the other rock where there's a whole squad just waiting to take him down.
Oh my goodness, this is why you don't split the party.
Live.
Oh, they're sending it in 1v1s, and that is not what you want to do. Razor with the risky res. No way, does get it off. And they can get the shield swap. That was extremely risky. Like, they could have gotten third party to just immediately, but
it
worked out for them, so yeah.
Vatro. That's it for him.
No! Our
poor guy.
Well, pour one out for our poor teddy bear, Vatro, who was eliminated.
Intel here. They're on the opposite end. We called them out fairly early once we saw that rotation holding on to the very little rocks that are provided here. They still have the one ahead to work with for when this circle does close in, but past that, they're pretty much completely out in the open. Nine squads still left standing here before our final 6. One last round to go before our close.
Yeah, Renegades, they're actually in a pretty decent position, but it's going to be when they need to go up and move past this thing that it's going to be a problem. I mean, Complexity is in a pretty good situation where they can oversee most of the squads in this location, so hopefully they can play this to their advantage and not scoot out more than they need to.
Complexity here, now defending another squad right ahead of them. They obviously have the notion that Renegades is underneath them, so kind of in a pinched situation. They know that the fight will come through, but Renegades, they instead are going to go for that redeploy right off the bat here. Now, Now, where they land, it's going to be extremely risky. You talked about that earlier. This is where those Valkyrie ultimates can become such an issue. And Razor, they themselves, they're moving for intel here. Able to find Petty Boss and Mooney quite easily as this goes down as well. Razor, they don't even take a single chunk of damage in that exchange.
Yeah, I mean, they were in the superior positioning there. They were able to just deal all of that damage and, I mean, not even really recover. And TSM here just owning the train tracks, but they are getting shot at from above because they are in this trench where two opposite sides can actively look down, but they do have the mobile res beacons as cover for each side of the train tracks, but I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Renegades down as well as Liquid here. Razor starting this one off the portal there. I like that they put the mobile respawn to defend against the door. Bursty gonna have to retreat back to that high ground there, but still a super good position here for the Razor squad. But once they're forced to drop, they're going to be right in the hands of TSM there. Hopefully they'll be able to take that one.
Yeah, they are... okay. Razor does have the charge rifle, which is pretty great for being able to put down damage. But, I mean, you're not able to lead up with that damage right now. Like, everyone is waiting for the final circle to close. I mean, TSM is probably in one of the better positions because they are towards the center. So, the two teams, I mean, the teams that are on the outskirts, like, they need to scoot in.
Calamity, TSM, 100 Thieves here in Razor. Our final 4 squads to behold. 100 Thieves, they've got the cart. Complexity, TSM in the tracks, and of course Razor here on that high ground. Of course, going to be forced to drop fairly soon. Might play directly for that car ahead, but probably going to have to full send it into one of these squads here. As 100 Thieves, they're making their own moves onto TSM right on the outside.
Goodness. Yeah, I was going to say Razor is probably in one of the worst positions because they only have to fight off of that truck.
This is good for them.
TSM, yeah, TSM is doing pretty well holding up against 100 Thieves that push them, but Hal, they did prepare the shield swaps, which is amazing and great planning, but they are just in a chaotic fight here, constantly shield swapping and trying to get as many shots off as possible. Does break, and they did knock too. I mean, I think they're going to be able to hold this position for as long as they can. And they're chasing the final kill.
Dresser goes down to the ring. Obviously, no longer the car in play of cover. They're trying to throw down the respawn beacon to work with that one there. The missile's down as Bursty will be the next to fall, bringing us to Complexity versus TSM. Our 2 train yard cars in Complexity, they're the first ones to move out. Now, Mono e Mono, Dome for Dome, but Monsoon Reptar, they don't last. TSM, you're champions now. 2 games tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say Razor is in the worst position. They had absolutely no cover coming out of that high ground. They initially had really good positioning, but as soon as that final circle starts to close, you have to think about where are you going to go next? Where are other people going to go next? And TSM had that mindset. They were so experienced. They knew to set down the 2 different mobile res beacons so that the other teams would have so much difficulty trying to push in, and they were ready. Did you see how many shield swaps
they were
had?
good to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Had 100 Thieves actually gotten the opportunity to, go for the full trade there on TSM, whether they come out on top or not, then someone like either Razor or Complexity can easily swoop in and take advantage of that fight. I mean, they made that one look so clean in terms of that kind of preparation that you did just bring up. Now, of course, back towards that Mobile One leaderboard here. It's a big game for TSM, but we don't quite know if it will push them back into the limelight here. We'll be back shortly as we bring you that information. Stick around.
We're going to do it in 3, 2, 1.
5 games down and just 1 more to go as TSM match C9 in game wins tonight as they double up there with a big victory in game number 5. TSM looking real nice tonight. Of course, Sweet dominating so far. Let's check out our player of the game here for game number 5 as we prepare for the final match of tonight. And it is going to go to Sweet here with 10 kills. 10 kills, 4 assists, and 1,800 damage for Sweet there. TSM just wiping the entire lobby tonight. This is the kind of performance we haven't seen from TSM on a pro night in quite a long time. Feels like a bit of a throwback here with them dominating so well. I would imagine if you're getting 10 kills from Sweet in that game, they are likely to leapfrog C9 back to the top of the leaderboard, but it may still be a very tight competition in this final game. And I love seeing a battle between TSM and C9, a couple of historic esports orgs with plenty of rivalries all across many different titles, so very fun to watch so far tonight. Do want to let you folks know, of course, I talked earlier tonight about all of our locations we have in Walmart stores all across the country. Well, we have a special activation event going on this weekend. If you guys are Pokemon fans, of course, the brand new game Pokemon Legends Arceus comes out this Friday, and if you want to go out and test it out for yourself, you can go head over to your local esports arena. Again, you can use exclamation point locations in Twitch chat to find one near you and come and play Pokemon with us. We would love to see you, hang out with you, and play some games with you, so definitely make sure to check that out. We are going to a break, but when we come back, we get ready for the final game. We'll see where everybody stands in our Mobile One leaderboard. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Series E here, our Season 4, Week 6 Pro Night. We've got one last game in store for you all. But before we get into the action, let's take a look once again at that Mobile One leaderboard here.
Ooh, yep, your math was correct again, and TSM takes first place with 73 points. And C9 has been bounced back to second place with 64. Team Liquid in third with 42 points. ESA in fourth with 34, and tied with Knights actually at 34. So if they want to bump anyone out, I mean, now is the chance. I mean, I think that this is pretty clear going into game number 6 what the top 5 is going to look like.
Yeah, absolutely here. And while there is still a realm of competition for Liquid, potentially, you kind of need fate to play a hand here for C9 and TSM to have a really unremarkable set of games, even if you're looking to fight your way into the second. So definitely the name of the game, the narrative going into this final one here, C9, TSM, they've both shown up respectively in such a dominating fashion. But speaking of dominating, I'm pretty sure, I believe we have that Mobile One high performance moment here that we'll get the opportunity to take a look at.
Yeah, let's take a look at what was the high performance moment. And of course,
absolutely.
it's
So
TSM wiping 100 Thieves here. Look at how their health is doing. I mean, listen, here's the thing. Even if your health is low and you push with your team, it's still 3 versus 1, and that will make all the difference. And here, Hal just had the superior positioning on Team Razor, who had nowhere to go. Even using the mobile respawn beacon, there's just nothing there for you to defend yourself with. No. So they get that wipe, and they're able to turn all of their attention I mean, listen, all of TSM, but also with Sweet now, focusing one team is just absolutely dangerous. And you could see that in this entire clip.
This is the nastiest iteration of TSM Sweet in the TSM squad that I've ever seen in my life. And I'd be happy to see it again here, potentially moving forward. But I don't make those kinds of decisions. I'm just a fan on the sidelines who gets to watch the action. But I got to hand it to TSM there. I mean, we can talk about the luck of that zone really pulling towards specifically their building here on this train, as well as kind of cutting out the likes of both Razor and Complexity. But you talked about it before we went on to break here. The preparation out of TSM, knowing that they were going to be forced to take such a sketchy and chaotic fight, and how they set that one up for themselves, from the respawn beacons all the way towards the crates, as well as all those shields to play through. I mean, you can't get better than that.
Yeah, I think what's more impressive is that they held their own in that little train block, and they didn't have a bunker legend. They didn't have Caustic. They were able to do that all on their own. And you said something about luck closing in with the ring closing in on their location that it pulled to them. What I commend pros on is that they don't rely on luck, and they definitely think of like the worst possible scenarios. Exactly. Yeah. So you have to really commend them for like preparing for everything, because once we looked inside exactly what they had done, you're like, oh, okay, never mind. They're absolutely prepared.
Well, one last game here tonight, our Series E Pro League. We'll have to see how they'll fare. TSM C9 so close to each other currently. Coming out of game 5 there, only 9 points to separate them. I know we're not looking at them, but there we go. CLG versus XN. This is the regularly scheduled programming that we've been watching all game long. And this time around, Vatro and the CLG squad, well, they've got revenge.
Yeah, I'm living for this rivalry. It is so fun to watch, like just back and forth. It's very fun. It's always so interesting to see two different teams contest upon drop, because it's very 50-50. It's a battle royale. You don't know what you're going to get. So yeah, there it is. Thank you very much. There it is. Oh my goodness.
Oh god. Okay. Well, CLG they're technically on top of this one, but they don't have the full clear. Or no, my apologies, they did. I think I'm completely blind. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I blinked.
I didn't see the full finish.
We pay attention here on CLG.
Me too. I mean, listen, it was just that teabagging was so intense, my eyes went blind for a second, so I blamed that. And yeah, Splash is, just absolutely demolishing. Look at that Blight just demolishing with the Volt there. And oh my goodness, just look at that finesse, the movement, and the longbow shot. But they are getting thirded immediately. This is just no time to react at all, or even shield swap, and that's Vizio coming in. They want to get their mark on. They want to make this a good game, because it is game number 6, people.
Yeah, absolutely. Here in Vizio, known for their performance, of course, in their opens, haven't been able to replicate it fairly well when it comes to Pro League, but they're no stranger to taking advantage of the third party. They already found that initial knock there. Triple take available. Sets that one up. Scissors to fall through with the 301 to find Blight down now. Trying to set up the angle there on the landmine. A big bracelet toss from Fury. He's going to be the only one in position to follow up with a source of that damage there, as right around the corner, our Valk player just barely escapes the clutches.
To be fair, Fury knows that he'll probably be at the advantage because this Valk is going to be on the run and doesn't really have time to heal, but you don't want to go too far from your team. I mean, this is still heavily overextending. Yeah, I mean, they did get a majority of it. Oh, but they did connect with the Valkyrie in there. It looks like they are actively fighting, and I think they're going to be able to get that last kill.
Bit of a mix-up going down here at launch site. Ghost taken advantage of there by the Renegades roster, coming out of their usual drop that we see them in Tree. We know them to be a heavily core-focused team, especially when it comes down to the south. Of course, when Tree obviously plays towards their favor, but even if it tends to stray towards, of course, Thermal Station or launch site, like we're seeing right now, they make some pretty quick rotations. Woo! What a beam there from Vaxilon with the charge rifle.
Yeah, the charge rifle in pros hands are just it is just something else. Like, it's annoying in ranked and pubs, but I mean in these lobbies you just do not want to show even like your little pinky toe, because they will find it and they will farm you for that damage.
Renegades, they're putting some heavy pressure down in the area from what we saw, akin to that damage we just discussed, but they haven't really taken any position in a building or one of the locations here in launch site. They're going to opt to actually play directly in the throw ground, heal up, and hopefully make their rotation in. I really wouldn't like to see them stick around here. They've worked so hard already to take what was Ghost in that fight and keep this one going, but maybe they look for revenge here.
Yeah, very good shots from Panders here. Looks like they are actually in fight. Ooh, and they do down Sauce. Oh my goodness. But it is an exchange here. So it's going to be a 2v2, and they are trying to get that thirst down the upwards nade here. I don't know. This is going to be a little bit risky. I mean,
it's not Ghost game. That's what it is. All right.
Now they are ghosts.
Living up to the name there. Renegades, they come out on top. They already had the numbers advantage to begin with, so trust me, I don't know if I was particularly praying for them, but hey, this is my team. This is my babies that I love, the Renegade squad, and now successfully able to finish what they started here against Ghost and take this region for themselves. I am interested to see where they post up here in the launch site. The building that they are currently at, as well as the one that you can see currently in the feed there from Baxlon to the left, are both really hard to hold on to, especially for the long term. But as we see right there, it looks like there's other squads already in position. They might really not have a choice.
Yeah, they're doing some pretty decent damage here, but not enough because they do have that knowledge that one has purple shields and they are going to be fully healed. I mean, Renegades, they're doing pretty well on shields as well, but they just fought and they know that they made a lot of noise. If they get into another fight, they do know that they risk the higher chance of a third party here.
It's still fairly early. I know third parties are definitely something you have to worry about, but if there's any time to take it, it would be now. Renegades, they don't have to, though. It's not like they're really going to be able to force their way inside that building, at least not with expending a huge chunk of their resources thinking things like that Nox gas grenade coming into play here. So I would much rather see them, set up for themselves, begin decorating the place here in launch site where they do have a heavy handle over.
Looks like G2 is actively in this fight over here at... Oh, no, this is not Countdown. They are...
Me too, man.
They are actively taking this fight with... Ooh, they're looking pretty good right now, actually. I mean, they have the Gibraltar bubble as well to work off of. Yes, but they're pushing not together. There we go. Okay, now that they have the whole team, they can push this. They are a little scared. I'm actually a little bit surprised. Designful taking a little bit more damage than they should have.
Ooh, both Jet and Designful completely flesh here. I don't think they actually put down enough damage, and it's going to be the escape there from the Ash to push them away. But there's another squad here on the hill with angles already set up to capitalize. As a result, Jet, of course, down. Longbow to defense from Result to potentially give them some realm of control back, but from behind, damage on both angles. It's Vizio to swoop in and pick the rest of that one up there, as now defensive bombardment has been thrown from Phony. Might be starting this next fight up, but remember that staging area, that building is within place, so the bombardment not going to be as useful as they might want. It does prevent them from rushing on them, so
yeah, that was really unfortunate. I think G2 played a little bit too passive there. I think they should have full committed to the push, but just because of that, it's shocking that even like a 2-second delay in a push can end up in your entire team wiping. So you really have to be sure about your decisions. It looks like they're following ESA here in an active skirmish, also using the Gibraltar bubble. Caustic Ult comes out, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. It's just knocked here, and he's going to have to secure this KP or get away for his team. If he gets his bat off, he might be able to take this, but I mean, this is going to be pretty risky here.
Ooh. He's got the bit on the edge of those angles, but the fence line will do nothing to protect him, as Sweet finishes that one off, picking up another 2 for himself here on TSM. C9, though, quick to move into the area. And these are the two squads we've been watching all night long. And C9, that's a huge win for them here. Down at 15th, TSM is out.
I know they have to be so upset with that. Sweet was almost out. He was almost in the clear, but he was just in there for a little bit too long. And they were able to get that beam off. But oh my goodness, this was supposed to be TSM's solidifying win game. And I mean, unless C9 goes out soon, I don't think it's going to be that.
Jeez, now C9, they still have a ways to go. Of course, TSM, they pick up some great KP there before they go down, so it's not 9 points anymore. They've got their standings as well as the 3. So you definitely need to see C9 make it all the way to the end here, or at least have a game that rivals what we saw out of number 4 from them here earlier tonight. Now, though, back to Siphon. Obviously, C9 somewhere out there towards the northeast. Liquid, though, on the opposite end, currently our 3rd place team, could potentially usurp C9, but with them already picking up KP, it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, an unfortunate elimination for TSM there, but, I mean, they had a great last game, so...
That's true.
You know, things happen.
They go home happy. Now, they're kind of at the whim of the fate here of C9. You know, if they go down in just the next second, then, hey, TSM, they're our first place victors. But the longer this one goes out, it'll make them a happy camper. Nerf, they're on the opposite end of the launch site. This is what we talked about fairly early on and how this building isn't exactly the easiest to hold on to, especially that one in the center right in the middle there. Nerf, they are going to be the gatekeepers of the Siphon area. They are the ones who defend against that hillside here that usually can be taken advantage of so nicely, but we're not really looking at it. Instead, we have beautiful models provided here by EA.
All right, and Vizio in an active fight as well. They're looking pretty strong, and it looks like the enemy team did back off here. They don't want to take this fight, but they are full chasing. I mean, Scissors is leading the charge here. Does get the finish there, and Team Razor is eliminated.
Razor, a rough day for them here as we saw them perform quite well into that last game, playing off the high ground there. But hey, technically, other than Team Esports Arena, our currently highest placed Series E team here in Pro Night. So better than usual for them, but you know, going down now, we'll have to see how they fare as Vizio. They're the ones who could potentially take that one away from them. We haven't talked about it, but I'm going to hold the topic for now because there might be a fight incoming here as Knights break through the door. Guild a little low, will fall to the hands of Bowen, but it is a 1-for-1. Now Ordnance is down there by the edge of that door. 2 setup available here as the Sir's going to pull back. Just wait for this one to set up, trying to find his way around that corner there, but unable to do so as Noble find the response they need.
That was unfortunate for the Knights. They didn't push together, and they just ended up sending it into a 1v3, which was unfortunate here.
C9 is out.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait to see the leaderboards to see who really won out. This is pretty close, honestly, and it's a little disturbing because I don't like matches to be this close. Because now I'm gonna be wondering. I'm gonna be biting my fingernails till the end of the match.
I placed my bets on TSM coming out on top of this one here.
You think so? Okay.
I don't think C9 really found all what they need, and placing 12th doesn't really net you anything in the placements there. So that's my current mathematical take. But hey, if you're Team Liquid, man, you feel awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see for the leaderboard. But I think you're right. I think TSM put up enough of a lead in the last game that they're going to be okay in the final lineup. But I mean, we'll see. We still have all of these other squads still in it. So I mean, who knows? And G2 just kind of basking out here in the circle. I guess they're regrouping. Sunbathing. Yeah. Hey, I mean, Horizon does say to put on lotion, like the suntan lotion, because you'll get a sunburn. So we know that the ring does solar damage.
A healthy dose of vitamin D here for G2 as they will find their way down from Harvest here. We'll see where they end up going there. They take their time, which is kind of interesting. Usually we see those guys pull all the way out there from Thermal Station. To see them as far north as they are is a little bit of a concern here. Back towards our central area of launch site. I've been wondering what team has held the center for as long as they have, and it's start a fight here. Surprisingly, not a bunker comp to their name, actually running with that Loba here on Crummy. He's got that Kraber. Probably pulled it from that black market
Probably. Boutique. Yeah. I mean, listen, not a bad pull, but now with the Kraber, they do need to be a little bit cautious. They did already show their hand that they have the Kraber, so they do risk being rushed up on just because the Kraber is not as great in close range.
True.
But we'll see. I mean, they're fine here. They can coexist right now. It's only round 3, and it'll be round 4 soon, so Vizio's still fighting in the Lava Siphon.
Vizio, no strangers to action here in Game 6, consistently taking fights all throughout our rounds here, as now they sit atop Siphon there. They are going to be able to defend against that bombardment. Meanwhile, by the way, in that kill feed, it looks like you got a bit of a split between CLG and 100 Thieves as they are taking down our G2 roster. But Vizio, into the second floor they go. Fury, Phony, no shield. Scissors as well. Low health they are. One down in response there. Scissors is a tick away. Now, Fury, the only one left standing to defend for his team, going to hide behind his shield as he pulls off the bat. And the Gibby's out through the door. Maybe kick this one away or just go for the revive, knowing you have time.
Yeah, now this is going to be a full shield fight here. That is... Ooh! Oh my goodness, he did get the up. He did get the res, though. I think they may have this. And he was able to get the res. Yes! And if Vizio comes out on top in that fight, what an incredible play there. I was so worried. And they're going to be able to get this recovery in as long as no other team pushes them. But I think they're far enough to the edge of the circle that they won't get pushed here.
And honestly, you know, we can talk about the clutch, but it really was Phony there, blocking the door, preventing them from going back
absolutely.
in. Now, though, CLG, we talked about how they were on the outskirts here when we discussed the takes against G2 here just a moment ago, but Mamba and Vatro in their own realm of punishment here is potentially both will fall. Mamba's on the back end as 100 Thieves finally make their way out from car to pepper this one with that Spitfire just shredding through the CLG roster. But Team Liquid not too far behind, and
they just need to go. Yep, they just need to go. I mean, that was a disgusting head glitch from 100 Thieves there. That was absolutely disgusting. Liquid does get that kill there, or that finish. So they're going to be able to loot up here, take whatever they want, but they are getting overlooked by start a fight.
They know they're within the area there. Oh, I believe.
Ooh!
That's a full 3-man roster now. Dropping into the realm of start a fight here. A big dome thrown down in response. Crummy looking low. Aves down as well. Matt Pickett, the only one left alive to defend. He does switch off there, but Complexity easily able to pick that one up. And I'm really surprised. Usually squad's more able to punish the drops down there, especially on something like that redeployed. So to see start a fight already down, a bit of a shame.
I think they were doing fine until all the nades were being thrown as they came down, and they couldn't defend anything. I mean, the Gibraltar bubble came down on top of the grenades. There really wasn't any cover for them. It looks like Nerf is in the fight as well with the alternator, just trying to get any connections here with the Gibraltar bombardment, but it's just not quite enough. They haven't been able to crack that Valkyrie, but they might just be able to push her.
Now Nerf here on the edge as they're going to start taking some different angles to punish Renegades out here as the last standing member tries to hide behind the box. And
that was disgusting.
In the world
what a disgusting super shot. But now they are getting thirded. And, but they do have superior positioning. I mean, they might be okay, but they are down at Phony. They are down their developer player, which would make this incredibly easier for them.
Complexity picked up that Kraber there from start a fight. Vizio, they are able to clean up Dimmy, but now they have to defend, of course, against that calm roster here as Phony is on that corner. Fury looking low in his own right, but Monsoon, they're a full 3-man, all completely full shielded, ready to go here.
Yeah, they only have one Kraber shot, so that's good news for the enemy team. But, I mean, you really... Oh, there it is. There's that shot, but it wasn't enough to down, only crack. So, as round 5 closes, I mean, we're going to be seeing where all these teams are going to be living, and it's pretty messy.
Surprisingly, it's the opposite end here with Intel. In a passive realm of control, they don't have to worry about any of the action. Surprisingly, we do get the information, though, that Vizio made a big escape out from their risky position that we had been looking at for quite some time there. Still, though, it's right in the middle of all of these squads here. Intel, Team Liquid, Complexity, Vizio, our last 4.
This is going to be an interesting last circle as round 5 closes. I mean, ooh, the bombardment does come out on Fury and Scissors over there, but I don't know if that's going to connect. It does push them into complexity, though, so that might be the end of them there, as they just have, they just have an overfield of all of them right there. I mean, if they're not doing well, they could just get this finish and get the extra KP. Ooh, Reptar almost falls off, not wanting to fully commit yet because that isn't the best positioning. I mean, the reason why Fury's team is in that position is because they had nowhere to go. Vizio is eliminated, and Monsoon's the kill leader with 5 kills in this lobby, and now it's down to the top 3.
One of the better games we've seen out of Complexity in recent times here. We know they had one of those pop-off games with Reptar here in one of our weeks of Pro League, but haven't been able to replicate it since then. What's great for them? Team Liquid, Intel, they're super close to one another here. Liquid, of course, more than likely going to be forced out of that cart before anything else. But just look at the high ground advantage that Complexity has the opportunity to work with.
They do, but they're going to have to be careful when they come out or when they have to move. But I don't think they have to move for quite some time, so they might be okay. Yeah, but it's going to be that trailer team that really suffers from this because they're just going to be surrounded immediately. Yeah, everyone's going to play this very slowly as the circle closes.
Double angle. Look at that. They've got a separation. You can barely see it. It's not showing up in the feed, but you've got them right there in the south as they're going to split the attention there. Intel now forced to move out from their fence. There's no cover here in this field. As like I said, Complexity, they have full high ground advantage. And guess what? Team Liquid, there's no cart to their namesake anymore either.
Team Liquid is not looking too great right now. They might be getting compressed in that trailer. They need to get out, but I don't know if they can. Oh my god. But they are getting pinned now, getting absolutely just shredded because they're out in the open. Everyone's looking at them. I mean, there's nowhere to go here.
Careful, Intel on the side. They want to usurp that high ground position as the Dome is going to defend for now in the face of that defensive bombardment. A response found by both them and Liquid alike here. Liquid able to find their 3rd member back up, but not for long. There's Complexity continues to shred. Fearless, the first member to fall here. Petty as well. Complexity from behind just to clean this one up. Tries to send one member down, but Monsoon is unable to do it. Now, Shiny into the fray here. Team Liquid, they're low from their initial fights as Nocturnal is set up from afar. From behind, they have switched position. Reptar, only 20 health left, a single tick, and Liquid turn against the fate of it all and pick up the win here.
I'm not gonna lie, I was so nervous for them. They kept sending into different teams, and I was so worried they couldn't win the last 1v1s, and I was so worried. But I'm so glad they won that out because you know what? They did play so well. I'm so glad they were rewarded for that. But just, oh my god, be careful. Don't send alone.
I mean, hey, you got to hand to it. That's the power of that Valkyrie there in those final moments. You had Complexity go for that full drop there, trying to send it on to Intel respectively, and they were able to do so, but they took too much damage in that trade, of course, with the zone kind of crushing them into the back end there. And Liquid were able to survive through it all, especially throwing the Valk onto the back end, as once those positions were switched there, it secured that victory out for themselves, which I believe is their 2nd victory tonight here.
Yeah, this might actually be a very big jump for them. So we'll have to see what the leaderboard. Again, we have no idea. We have no idea what's going to happen, what the final count is going to be. So
Yeah, we don't write the scripts here. That's up to Yeso. So we're going to toss it back to him for one last time as we'll take a look at our MVP of that game, as well as the math that, trust me, he's already decided. So one quick break.
All 6 games in the books tonight, and we wrap up with a Team Liquid victory. Complexity going a little aggressive there, and it looks like it came back to bite them as Liquid comes out on top with a win there. I don't know that it's going to be enough to chase down TSM and C9 at the top of the leaderboard, but at the very least, they jump themselves into the conversation there and finish strong at the end of the night. So well played there from Team Liquid to close out strong. Let's look at our final player of the game here for tonight's competition. And this time around, it's going to go back to Nocturnal once again. 3 kills, no assists. This time, 1,500 damage. And obviously the big one being the game-winning kill there for the side of TL. Showing up strong and closing out the night very well there. Well done from Liquid, as well as all of the teams tonight. Of course, all 3 of our top 3 squads showing up really, really well all throughout tonight's competition and made things very fun and interesting to watch. We are going to go to a quick final break here, but when we come back, we'll get a final look at that Mobile One leaderboard, and I'll be back to close the show. So we'll see you in a few, okay?
Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. Put the bars in the place. I'm talking one chance that was so good for the goal. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Welcome back for one last time here to the desk on Series E between me, of course, Zephyr, and the lovely lady herself, Parallax Stella. We've got one last Mobile One leaderboard in store for you. TSM C9. They fell fairly early. Let's see where they fell overall.
Ooh. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Wow. Okay. TSM took first with 76 points. You were right. They had enough from the second to last game to solidify first place for them. And C9 with the lovely and very nice number, 69 points. Liquid in third place with 58. Complexity in 4th with 49, and Team Vizio in 5th with 46 points. Congratulations to these teams for getting top 5. And wow, what a game.
Yeah, a fantastic one at that. C9, had they had lasted just a little bit longer into the length, so that one might have been able to usurp that position. For now, though, let's take a look at our high performance Mobile One moment here of the game. And to no surprise, let's watch this one closely because they even fooled me here. Watch Team Liquid flee to the skies.
Oh my goodness, look at the flank play was amazing. I mean, he wasn't able to get the last kill there, but it was just such a great play, and that definitely helped them move forward here.
Right, Complexity, they set that one up, and officially were actually the full 2-man, but they had no clue where Nocturnal was set up, as well as the damage that was provided from behind there. As a result, Liquid played ends against the middles 2v1 there in those final moments. And it goes to show the power of that redeploy. And that's the first time I've actually had the opportunity to see it win a game in those final moments. Usually people see it shoot up. I mean, we got the opportunity earlier today where from below, they tried to go for that redeploy and it was quickly shut down. So major props there to Nocturnal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that last Peacekeeper shot, he was very worried, but he didn't know that even if the Peacekeeper shot only hit for 11, he would have been fine. So, I mean, there you go. For once, the 11 damage will actually work out in your favor, and they won. Awesome.
Yeah. 2 TL wins, 2 C9 wins, and of course, 2 wins for TSM, but the overall victory here in our pro night. Congratulations once again to the TSM squad, replicating their path of success here, coming off of their big win in the ALGS playoffs. Once again, had a lovely opportunity to be here at ESA once again alongside, for the first time, Stella. I can't wait to hopefully see you once again and get the opportunity to cast.
Yeah, hopefully it's definitely not the last time. So it was great.
I'll see you on Pro League, of course, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Again, wait, participating or casting? Because we can totally do both.
As
right?
an unranked player, not a chance.
Okay, we'll work on that.
You'll work on it? Okay,
yeah,
you'll have to take me through those streams. Either way, it's been a lovely time here on Esports Arena, but it's officially Yeso's shine to shine here. So we're going to toss it back for one final moment. Love the man himself as he wraps this one.
Zephyr always here, trying to make me blush as he throws over to me to end the show. Zephyr and Stella, great to listen to you both today. Great work tonight. Do want to let you folks know, of course, if you missed any of the action last night or tonight, maybe you missed Guilty Gear tomorrow, we are going to have series recap this Friday talking about everything. And Stella is going to be joining me to talk some Apex Legends. So if you want to hear more from her thoughts on everything that happened in Series E this week, her thoughts on the playoffs for ALGS last weekend, make sure to tune into series recap this Friday at 4 p.m. to see more of her. But congratulations to TSM. Big win for them tonight, of course. Very dominant. A couple of the strongest single game performances we have seen in Series E there from TSM, back to the TSM that we remembered that dominated Pro Nights in Seasons 2 and 3. So well done there. They are certainly a force to be reckoned with, and definitely carrying a ton of momentum from that playoff win this past weekend. And also an interesting finish there. That last Mobile One high performance moment was for third place, essentially a 1v1 for third place. The way the points would have swung there, if Complexity wins that, they would have taken third. But Liquid gets it done and grabs third place, so well done. C9, of course, finishing in second. Fun night here for Pro Night. Tons of awesome action. Great to follow it all with all of you. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Of course, I already talked about series recap, but don't forget we do have Series E Guilty Gear Strive Week 6 tomorrow night. 16 incredible players coming out to duke it out in an awesome double elim bracket, so don't miss out on that. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, folks. My name is Yeso. It's been a pleasure to be your host. For myself, the entire live broadcast crew, the technical director to the stars, Push, and everybody here at Esports Arena, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow.
start, that's a never ending.